Well, it's like one of the characters had to go to sleep. Just look at it like that. One of the main characters that's not really a main character, but he's a main character in his story had to go to sleep.
Like for the night? Or like
for like a long time. Not forever. Like he's not dead, but he had to go to sleep literally because his heart's broken.
All right. How do we do this thing? I start talking, right? Is that how?
Something about an intro?
We've done 300 and something of these. You figure I would know at this point. Okay, it's Thursday, February 7th, Black History Month, the shortest month. We're not going to get into all that. This is GameEnthus Podcast, episode 366. I'm Aaron, one of the hosts here. Tiny is also here.
I am here.
Mike is not here.
He is not.
I mentioned talking about Bumblebee on the show today, and he just said, "You know what? I can't even do it. I'm not even going to show up." I said, "Wow, he's taking it really seriously."
Strong feelings on the Transformers.
But we're always here. What's more important is that I move this window so we can see our lovely guest face. Jazz is joining us today. I should have asked this before we started. Like, we can call you Jazz, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay.
Because did I talk to you about that? No, I talked to someone else about that. They asked what they wanted me to be called, and they were like, your real name or your YouTube name? And I'm just like, well, it's the same thing. My name is Jasmine, so.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Jazz is fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, well, welcome to the show. For the people
Thank
who
you.
do
Thanks
not.
for having me.
Oh, thank you for saying yes. People who do not know you, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I am. I run a YouTube channel. I run the YouTube channel. It's Jazzio. I guess I want to say that I do like comedy, gaming, and vlogging, where like I don't take myself seriously. I don't take my game seriously, and I definitely don't take my vlog seriously. Like most of my vlogs tend to be like rant vlogs over things like my last rant vlog was over pine cones.
I saw that one.
A rant. You saw that?
I saw that one.
That's when you were like, I should invite her.
That was the moment where I went, you know what?
But yeah, so my thing is I just like to make people laugh. I like making videos. I really love editing, and I just like to make people laugh. So that's why I just started my channel. And so that's pretty much that's the main thing. I have a whole bunch of projects, but that's my main thing right now.
Okay, that's your main thing. But what are your other projects?
My other projects, well, I am looking into starting a podcast with my sister.
Okay.
This one is, I haven't really told anyone about it, so it's just kind of like, we're just kind of getting it off the ground. We don't really have we have an idea of what we want to do. We have a name, but we don't have like any other plan of when we're starting or...
That's how most podcasts go. You just wing it.
Yeah. But our podcast is going to be it's basically just going to be like a just talking podcast for singles that graduate, like post-grad singles.
Okay.
We're just trying to adult, and we're not married.
Okay, that's very specific.
Yeah.
People who like almonds more than cashews and play games after college. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Or none at all.
Or not at all. Okay.
If you watch my video on how much I hate nuts, then you would know.
Oh, you know what? Forgive me.
The nut reference.
I did not do my homework.
That
is on me.
That's okay. It's still early, so.
I'm curious about the names, but you didn't tell us. I'm sure you would have revealed that later, but I am curious about the name.
I will reveal that later.
Understood.
But I guess my other projects, I am also into writing a lot. I love writing. I love writing, I guess I want to say YA. So these are, like, I have a whole bunch of ideas that I've been wanting to, like, publish for, like, 10 years. And I'm like, this year I'm freaking starting. So I'm, like, actually writing a book from start to finish this year. And then I'll worry about editing and all that stuff I'm going to do with it. But right now, I'm just like, okay, I need to work on writing and maybe doing some other stuff in writing too, but yeah.
Okay. The book, the genres. I mean, what are you?
So this one is
fiction, nonfiction.
It is. Yes, it's a fiction. It is. I've got an interesting mind. So this fiction is about a boy who see, you're like asking me these questions. I like wasn't ready with a pitch.
I'm sorry. I should have sent you the questions ahead of time.
Yeah, you should. I wasn't ready. This is a lot. No, so it is about a boy who realizes that he has not realizes, but he, after his mother passes away, he gets really depressed, because he was kind of sheltered as a kid. And so he ends up having to move to a completely different country with his siblings that he doesn't really know because they're much older than him, so they didn't really pay much attention to him. And all his siblings are like working, but he's not. Like, he's still just a little kid, and he realizes that he has the ability to pretty much summon whatever he wants, but he doesn't realize that until it's like pretty bad, like until he's like really upset and he's hurt and he just wants his mom back pretty much. And so this is the story of him trying to figure out his life.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now.
What were some of your inspirations for that, with the summons and
inspiration? Well, I play a lot of MMORPGs, so that was
okay. Yeah.
So that was the inspiration for the idea. I'm just like, I don't, other than that, I honestly get a lot of my inspiration for writing from music. So I love listening to music with really meaningful lyrics before I write any. It's like, I don't know, it kind of sparks my imagination. Good music sparks my imagination.
Like what? Just I know I keep layering these questions, but
one of my favorite bands, which broke up, is they were called Thriving Ivory, and their music is just, it's really good because their music just either it tells a story or the lyrics are just really, I don't really know how to explain it. They're just good. He's a good singer. It was a good band, and I liked it.
Okay, what more do you need, right?
Right.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
What genre of music is Thriving Ivory? I've never heard of Thriving Ivory.
It's alternative rock.
Okay.
So, and I like that band. They broke up, but they broke up like more than once. Like, they were Thriving Ivory, then they went on a hiatus, and then they came back. It's just two of them, and
they
then
were just Ivory at that point.
they weren't thriving.
Sorry,
but
Tiny's like, just stop.
I'm sure Mike would probably know who Thriving Ivy is.
He might. Anyway, I'll be here all week.
they're they're alternative rock. So, I mean, my sister introduced me to them. I don't really remember how long they've been around. I just love their music, and they came out with like one last like album right before they broke up, and then like the lead singer, I love his voice, but it was I think the drummer who wrote all the lyrics, and they were like splitting up, and it's like, dang, like, well, I'll just listen to both.
Is that typical for the drummer to write all the lyrics? I'm just throwing that out there. That seems like an anomaly to me.
I know, yeah. I mean, the lyrics worked though. Like, they were like, the songs are really good. Like, if you just let it play, like their albums they flow really well, which is like, I like music like that.
Are they on Spotify?
Yeah, they're on Spotify. Like, all of them are. At one point, they actually changed their name to Midnight Cinema, which is also on Spotify.
Midnight Cinema.
Midnight Cinema and Thriving Ivory.
Okay. And the drummer was also the most stable, the most sober.
Wait.
The stereotypes of the drummer is like,
That's not what I said.
Well, the opposite, like, Yeah, he was the most stable one of all of us. I mean, we all were high. He was fine. The drummer got into hedge fund investing and just took off right from there. Oh boy, where were we?
You were asking me a ton of questions.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I have more. I'm just. We're here. I'm just out. Anything else that you want to share? With the viewers or the listeners.
I do have. I'm doing something kind of fun on my channel right now. I am doing another charity stream, which I usually like doing two charity streams a year. One being Extra Life, and the other one just being whatever. Last year, I did a charity stream for suicide prevention, and so that one happened in the spring. And I did a lot of planning for it, and like everything went into that one. But this year, my charity stream kind of came out of nowhere, where I was just like, and it's kind of, I'm calling it a charity stream, but it's like a series, and it's mostly me giving the money, and I'll explain. So,
Wait, what?
Let me explain. So, like I was saying before, Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite games.
Yes.
I love this game. But it's not always the easiest game. And when games aren't easy, I tend to whine like a baby. And I'm just like, why am I like this? So I'm like, every time I whine, putting a coin, I have these, my sister was making fun of me because she was like, why do you have like St. Patrick's Day coins? So I got, I got these coins, and every time I'm like whining, I ask my viewers to hold me accountable, and they're like, stop. They're like, you're whining, put a coin in the jar. And so I've been collecting coins.
Okay.
I've been collecting them. So it's just kind of like different. I just want to do something a little different where it's like, I want people to hold me accountable for being like whiny baby, and just, I put the coin in the jar. And then this one's actually running for as long as I'm playing the game. So when I'm done with Kingdom Hearts, I'm going to count up the coins, and then that's how much it's $1 a coin, and that's how much I'm going to donate.
That's cool.
Yeah, and this is going to be for Feeding America. So I'm doing this one for Feeding America.
Oh.
So
That is stuff.
And it gets people to like, it kind of gamifies it. People watching you play a game, and then the challenge is just make sure they're listening to you to point out when you whine. Yeah, that's.
They like try to like push it. They're like, "You're whining." I'm like, "I'm not whining." I'm
That
like, "These
was
are
a
facts."
yawn. Okay.
The other day, like they were talking about, I said something about like, yeah, Donald Duck is the worst character, and they're like, "You're whining." I'm like, "That's a fact." I'm like, "That's." I'm like,
It's a statement. I don't.
It's pretty factual.
He is pretty annoying.
There's
so.
science to back that up.
Right.
People in white lab coats, it's the whole thing.
Is Oswald the rabbit in any of the Kingdom Hearts games?
Is what?
Oswald the rabbit?
No.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity.
Because that would have confused
What, Epic
Mickey and
Warren Spector, is he in the game?
Well, Epic Mickey's storyline is vastly different than
Yes, it is.
King Mickey in the Kingdom.
I never played Epic Mickey, so I don't even know.
I played it briefly, I think.
I found the second one. I was looking for the first one. I don't know where it is.
They gave us the second one on Games with Gold, didn't they?
I have it on Wii though, because that game still seems like it'd be better with the pointer kind of control.
Well, the first one wasn't exclusive. The second one was on everything. Yeah,
it was.
We're on a tangent, aren't we? I'm sorry. Back to you, Jess.
That's really all I have. I'm doing this stream, and honestly, like, I feel like I haven't whined enough. I need to like knock it up a little bit. Like, I need to increase.
You are playing Kingdom Hearts. So.
How can Sora have 2 hearts inside of him? It just doesn't make sense.
Where's Sid?
Well, he actually has 3.
I can't even.
Technically 4 if you include his own. But anyways,
and Sid is just Disney backwards.
So how much blood needs to be pumped through Sora's body if he has 4 hearts?
How much blood has to get pumped? Hey Alexa, how much blood has to get pumped through your body?
I don't think it's physically 4 hearts. Like it's not like you could take all 4 of them out in some kind of surgery.
She couldn't answer the question, so I don't know.
Alexa.
I did find out today. Apparently, the male body has extra blood as compared to the female body from a medical professional, who also happens to be my sister.
Did she give you a reasoning as to why this is the case?
She sometimes calls to share, let's say, the frustrations of her day.
Okay.
Well, or the weird stuff, and she was sharing that someone she had seen came in. How do I say this?
I think I know where you're going with this.
Blood was coming out of them when they went number 1. There we go.
That's pretty succinct. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, so she's supposed to. They had to have it go to the lab, and when she saw the sample, it wasn't blood was in number 1. It was that number 1 was blood.
That's a problem. That's a
bigger problem than you probably think. Yeah. And she's like, how do you feel? Like, she's like, that's a lot to, expel. Right. And she's like, because she's trying to decide if she needs to send him to the emergency room right now.
I'm going to default to a yes.
Well, no, he's like, he wasn't woozy. He wasn't like, so tomorrow he will be going to.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, so there's some stuff
What is the
this is most
triage going on here?
This
Like,
is
you're
most
missing
likely
a
going to
neck.
be. This is most likely going to be an oncology visit going forward.
Gotcha.
So, and they were not there at whatever 6 o'clock at night or whatever. So,
I'm horrified.
yeah, like she was calling me more. She's like, I don't like that. She's a. I gotta get this right. Nurse practitioner, not a physician's assistant. My sister-in-law is a physician's assistant, and they get very mad if you mix those two up.
Who gets more angry?
Heather, I don't think I've said it to my sister-in-law wrong. I've said it to my sister wrong, and she got pissed. So my sister, I keep almost saying her name, whatever. But where were we going with this?
I was saying, who gets more upset?
Oh, it wasn't that she was complaining. She's frustrated about the number of people she's had to essentially say, hey, I think you might have cancer. We need to start a treatment. This early in her career. She's been doing this for, God, 5 years now? So, and I'm like, it's just the reality of, like,
it's better than being desensitized and going, yeah, you have cancer, all right.
Right.
Yeah.
Between the two, so.
But yeah, so I'm like, this is the reality. It'll be what it is. You do what you can.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, so yeah.
You're taking the show into a happy place, Tiny. Thank you.
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. I don't actually remember how that came up. But it was that. So but that led to, she said, oh well, the male body actually has a surplus of blood versus what it needs as compared to the female body.
You're just.
I don't know what that means.
You just have extra, so you can just pee it out. Like
it's why he wasn't fainting, or like having, like, why he wasn't like yeah.
Is that true though?
Again, I'm going to defer.
I'm not going to
the
call your
medical
sister. I'm
professional.
just saying, like, is that true?
I'm going to defer to the medical professional that told me this 4 hours ago.
I'm gonna believe it.
So
Believe it.
yeah. So anyway,
Jazz, I'm going to verify this one. I'm just saying. I'm going to look this one up.
I don't know. Alexa couldn't help me, so.
Well, Alexa knows more about Sora, so we'll stick to Sora questions for Alexa.
Anyway,
well, Tiny, what is going on with you, good sir?
so yeah, we'll talk about other. I don't know if it's more lighthearted stuff, but I started watching a TV show on Sci-Fi called Deadly Class, which apparently is based on a comic that I've not read yet. But it's like the show is set in the late 80s, and you're following this kid whose parents, man, yeah, this is real downer time. His parents are killed, and they're killed by a lady who. So it's the Reagan era of the U.S. Reagan has cut funding to mental institutions. So she's a lady that had schizophrenia, manic schizophrenia. She jumps off of some building and lands on this guy's parents.
You know why she jumped? Because ketchup was a vegetable. That's why she jumped.
So no,
I don't understand this.
So that was a discussion about school lunches.
Yeah, that was a Reagan era.
Oh God!
Yeah,
ketchup counted as a vegetable, even though it's fruit.
Tomato was a fruit, but whatever.
Yeah, made from fruit, whatever. But in this thing, the idea is, so this kid is now in foster home, and essentially he gets recruited to this school that is raising master assassins.
Okay.
Like most schools do.
Well, it's like the Hogwarts for assassins. Think of it like Harry Potter style. And Benedict Wong, who weirdly played a character called Wong in Doctor Strange, or he was the guy who headed JPL in The Martian, or if you saw Annihilation, he's the guy that's interviewing Natalie Portman.
Spoilers. Like I didn't see Annihilation. Thanks a lot.
I just watched it last night. Save the 2.5 hours of your life.
Wow.
So I didn't even put it on the.
I already bought it.
Oh, you didn't watch it either, Jazz?
No, and I didn't buy it either.
It's on Amazon if you have Prime, but like, it feels like it wanted to be a higher, like a more like, oh, it's such a thoughtful sci-fi thing, and it's like,
yeah.
But anyway, so he's running this school, and this kid has no, like, he doesn't come from a crime family or anything. So yeah, he's essentially like they call him a rat. He's no allegiances, and like all the cliques in high school. But in this high school, all the cliques are deadly different assassin types. So it's like Yakuza versus Mafia versus, like Southern White Power. And like they're
Sounds
all
like some school.
yeah, it's so weird. But like also the white power people are aligned with the communists, the Russians somehow. It's 3 episodes so far on Sci-Fi. And all this is at the beginning of the thing when you come into the school, you have to identify like, hey, what do you want to do to change the world? And he's like, I want to kill Ronald Reagan because he ultimately was responsible for
ketchup was a vegetable, so that's a callback.
Anyway. It's not. It was just to say that we had anyway. School lunch programs are a whole different topic that we could.
We can go down that rabbit hole. I'm ready.
Going to.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
I'm good. Other stuff we talked about last week. I said I had to be up at 7 a.m. to go help my dad set up a new TV last week because they were replacing their old TV. I was there. TV eventually came at 10:30 or whatever. Set it up, and the moment my mom got home, she said that TV's too big, and it got returned apparently. To which they bought another TV the next day, and I got to go over and set it all up again.
How was the TV too big?
58 inches, and apparently they felt, as the story goes now, they felt. But the story is, my mother felt it was too big for their living room, and I'm like, this story's not, or this their justification's never going to work on me because I have a 65-inch television over there. Like no, your TV's small. So they got a 49-inch television, and that's apparently the right size. So
your TV would eat my TV.
Well, yes.
Wow, no hesitation. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say to that. Yes. It's a nice TV. But I was texting with Aaron and Mike and some of our other friends from GameEnthus, and I was saying like I'm bringing my Xbox over because I want to show them 4K content because right now they don't have anything that can really drive 4K content on this new TV. So I brought the moment, but I'm like, the moment I hook up this Xbox and I see this 4K stuff, I'm gonna want to go buy a 4K TV.
Of course you are.
That's a bad idea. My TV is fine. It does everything I need it to do.
Except 4K.
Well, yeah, it doesn't, or HDR.
Wow.
So, and thankfully,
throw the whole TV away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Biggest issue though is, what do I do with this TV if I were to replace it?
Like my birthday. Oh.
Put it in my living room or my bedroom.
Just stack the TVs. Oh, yeah. I was just saying, like, well, my birthday's this summer.
I was gonna send it across.
Yeah, just
I'll get right on top of it. Get right on top of it.
Just put a stamp on it. It'll ship fine.
Just a stamp, one stamp on the front, in the very center of the screen.
Yeah.
It'd probably be cheaper.
Go
just
forth.
buy you a TV
and display.
Anyway, so I got to reset up everything again, which was fun. Like it's easy to do, but it's so. But as listeners of GameEnthus know, I am not a morning person. So when my father, I love him, he's retired, he's a crossing guard now. He told Best Buy, they can deliver between 7 and 10, even though he literally has a school route he needs to be at. So he's like, hey, can you be at the house? Like, yes. I will get up at 6:30 on Friday morning to go take care of your TV.
Like you do.
Yeah, and then they didn't show up till 10:30, and it was already snowing at that point because we got hit with snowstorms on Friday. I just felt bad for those guys.
Yeah.
Like around in a box truck, like that is not what I want to be in in this weather. But aside from that, I told Aaron about this earlier on text. I happened to be looking through Amazon today to watch something, and I saw The Guardians, which is people might have seen this like a year or two back. It's a Russian movie, and it was pegged as like the Russian version of the Avengers. And so there's an English dub of it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yes.
It's an English dub, and they're always great.
Privyet.
So, and like, it's literally like one guy turns into a bear.
Oh, yeah.
And at one, like, first he's like half man, half bear, and like he's strong, but he like keeps control. But then later, like he keeps talking about full transformation. You're like, what do you mean? And then at some point, he just turns into a bear. The weirdest thing though is when he turns back into human, somehow his pants come back. Like I'm like, okay. I thought like because at one point like turns into a bear and then gets pushed off like a building and like he's getting out of the water and I'm like, he's gonna be naked. Nope, pants. Like and shoes. I'm like, I don't know where did that all go. But then they also give him a Gatling gun.
Like you do. A bear with a Gatling gun. Okay, that's.
So, does he speak human when he's a bear, or does he speak bear?
That's a good question.
He talks about that. When he turns. He says when he at one point like when they're trying to explain he's supposed to be like the scientist of the group, and he's like when I go full transformation, it's taking longer and longer for the human part to assert itself. Like he's just going.
Oh, that's kind of like Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the same, but like it's weird because there's only people said like, oh, this is like the Avengers, and they have a lot of like special effects and whatnot in it, but there's only 4 of them, and a lot of them have like kind of Fantastic Four-y powers. Like one, the lady literally turns invisible, and can make other things turn invisible. And then one guy like can rock up, like he like controls rocks, but most of the time he like just sucks them onto his body so he can like look like the Thing essentially. So yeah, it's
original.
It's a weird movie. I mean, if you have like an hour and a half, watch it. Like, it was interesting.
Yeah, my Prime is up at the end of this month, so I'm watching that.
Hey, like it was a fun one. Like I liked it better than Annihilation. I also watched.
You didn't like Annihilation, huh? What do you have against Natalie Portman and Tessa Thompson?
It's not honestly. I think Tessa Thompson's character could have been so much cooler in that movie, and then she just kind of like wanders off and I think becomes a flower or something.
Spoilers.
I'm missing a lot.
There's a lot of there's a lot of weird stuff in this movie, and you're like,
was she like a narcissist? Or she looked into the water and like stared so long she became a flower?
There's a part you have to see because the main thrust of the movie is like there's these 5 women that go into what they call the Shimmer, and it's this thing that's expanding, and all the teams they've sent in before, and like Natalie Portman is a biologist who is former military. Tess Thompson is a physicist. One of them is a paramedic and has field combat medic training. Then there's the team lead and someone else. I forgot what the first one though. Man, I guess this will be spoilers, so I'm sorry for this. There's a lady named Shepherd, and she gets killed by a wolf, and I just felt like they were really going for that symbolism, just to beat you over the head that a shepherd was killed by a wolf. I'm like, this isn't like, is that supposed to be smart? So. But I don't. Did you, Aaron or Jazz? Did you guys watch IO by chance either? It's on Netflix.
No, I haven't seen that.
I'm really bad at staying up to date on movies. I just saw Into the Spider-Verse last weekend.
At least you saw it. That's excellent.
Yes. That's such a better. We could talk about it. That movie, we already talked about that movie a lot. That movie is very good.
I want to see it again, and I'm just like, when does it come out? But
IO was interesting. Anthony Mack. The thing is, I was texting with people during both of these movies, and I just kept referring to everyone as their, like popular sci-fi character. So I'm like, why is Padme, so Natalie Portman, talking to whoever the guy that plays Poe Dameron from the new Star Wars movies is, and oh look, there's Valkyrie hanging out with Padme,
so like their characters don't make a lasting impression on you?
It's weird. Like in Annihilation, it's the whole idea is the Shimmer, the thing that's expanding. Like they don't know if it's alien or another thing. They're like, it's refracting light, or it acts as a prism, so it's refracting what it sees. And at some point, they're like, oh, it's actually refracting everything in here, including the humans. That's like there's changes going on, and you'll see in the wall. But for example, and it takes them forever to realize this, light penetrates the Shimmer, so that means it's allowing energy and waves to pass through. But they're like, oh, we can't communicate with the outside. How can we not communicate with the outside? It is literally letting light pass through. Like, Here's a flashlight. 1212 SOS. Like I don't. Anyway, yeah. It's the same idea as in IO. The idea is like, oh, we flew the Earth so bad, everyone had to get off and go to IO. But the lady drives an ATV into the contaminated zone, and I'm like, that's a combustion engine. How does that work? So if there's not enough oxygen for her to like, she can't use a gas mask. She has to have like a rebreather. She has to have a scuba tank essentially. So like, how does her ATV work then? But this is when Dave gets, or Tiny gets real semantic. So this is why we don't watch movies.
Too much science, not enough fun. There's no sound in outer space.
Yes. Why? Again, it's The Last Jedi. I don't understand why the people literally on the planet turn around when the ships come into the universe, into the galaxy. Like, it's not like they heard them. Like, nothing to carry those sound waves.
You weren't there. You don't know.
Right.
That's how space works. Not how space works. Like, there's a lot of like people want to complain that like Luke got all emo because he failed. Like, he literally failed a student, and then that student went and killed a bunch of people. Yo, if I was that teacher, I'd probably be real sad too. But like, no, like these people. No, anyway, whatever. If you want to see fun, I did like a 20 tweet thing about Jurassic Park the other week, and I love Jurassic Park. That movie's great.
I'd just rather watch Jurassic Park, but yeah,
that movie's great. But there are some real questions about Jurassic Park. So, like, anyway, and then the last thing, and Aaron, hopefully you got yours too. My Extra Life medal came in this week.
Yeah, I got mine. I think over the weekend. So
yeah, so
I raised $1 million. So
I was gonna say, you raised. How much did you raise?
2,300, I think.
Why would you lie?
2,000.
I'm just kidding. But that's awesome. Congratulations to both of you. I love Extra Life.
Yeah, we've been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah, Tiny was telling me before we got started about you guys doing it for a while, and I've done it just the 2 years, but I love it. Like, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Good.
Do you guys usually do it like your own day? Like, do you? Or do you?
So game day usually falls around. Aaron, it's your birthday.
It's my wedding anniversary and my birthday. It's Mike's birthday, and his anniversary too, right?
No, his anniversary is too many games.
No, that's his wife's birthday.
Is that his wife's
What's
birthday?
too many games?
It's a convention here in the Philadelphia area in June. I thought it was their anniversary.
A lot of retro games, and they have panels and stuff, but it's a big focus on vendors selling retro games, which is kind of cool.
So Mike always tells us he's not going to make it, and then like 2 weeks before, he's like, "Actually, we've changed plans, and now I can make it." So
my wife was already mad. I can go. He's never said that. I'm just kidding.
So like we did ours. The second week of December.
Yes.
In 2018, because it was the first. Like, we do a survey from essentially like mid-October till mid-December, saying like, "Hey, what's the weekend we can get the most people together?" And it is never game day.
There's too many of us to make it. Yeah, it just never works out that way.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Do you do? Do you do yours? You said you do it twice a year, but is one of them on game day?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't do Extra Life twice a year, but yeah, I've been doing it on game day just for my own like time management to just do it on game day. Like, it's just like, okay, I have to do it this week, and it's just that's just when I started doing it, and I just like doing it game day too. Because then when I'm done with my stream, I can go check out other people's streams or like before. Or, I mean, I'm saying before, but it's pretty crazy.
No, hey, it makes sense. Like, if the call to action is exactly there, and I mean, that's what Extra Life sees the just a huge leap in donations is game day, so. But yeah, so
I like that we don't do it on game day because everybody is doing it on game day.
Yeah, and then it kind of makes your own stand out more when you're not doing it game day. So like,
or when somebody puts it on Shaq News. But yeah, sure. Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say?
I've heard of ours put it on the front page of Shaq News. That really helped viewership for us this year. Well, last year.
It really skewed my Twitch numbers. I'm like, oh, they're like, you could be a partner now. I'm like, I really can't, because I'm not going to have 300 people watching really for another year. So
Ever
like,
again. So
yeah, like, and that's it. And we started our stream, and there were 50 people already watching, and we're like, oh, there has to be a mistake. Like, something's broken on Twitch. There's no way there's 50 people already in this at whatever 10 a.m. in the morning watching us set up Smash Brothers. So
not even playing it.
yeah, it was that, and then complaining that most of us were too old to see our own characters.
Well, we are
on the 65-inch television.
Yep.
So, but yeah. But Aaron, what about you, sir? I will hand this over to you.
I have to look at the outline. What did I do? Oh, I saw a Bumblebee. And I really do wish Mike was here because he is the Transformers expert, if you will. Whereas, I had Transformers growing up. I had Optimus Prime. I liked the cartoon, but he really knows Transformers. Anyway, the movie definitely, just looking at the trailers, wants you to think like, hey, we're doing something more along the lines of the original cartoon. And it was actually pretty good. It was the best Transformers movie they've ever made.
Really?
It was the best.
Well, I mean,
like,
that's not a high bar. Like
it's not. That's not hard to do.
I didn't actually watch the show, and I didn't play with the toys. I know the theme song.
That's something.
But that's as far as I know. And I watched the other Transformers, but I've been meaning to actually watch Bumblebee, or go see it. I just haven't yet. I'm really behind on new movies this year.
I had some time on Tuesday, and AMC does the $5 Tuesday ticket thing.
Oh yeah, nice.
And then when you use Cinemia with that on pay for the ticket, it was fantastic. So, no, I enjoyed the movie. Some parts were a little hokey. Like at the end, I kind of let out a very audible, really? but before all that, I was with them. I was like, all right, I see this. I like this.
Is it when someone shows up or what?
No, it was when somebody does something that's a callback to their childhood. It was just like, come on. But like that and maybe another cheesy part were the only things that I was just like, but everything else, it was a fun movie. Like John Cena was good in it.
John Cena was it?
Yeah.
John
Cena. He didn't do this though. But
I was gonna say he didn't go invisible at any point.
But the beginning of the movie is straight up old school. All right, the trailer they show a hologram of Optimus Prime, but in the beginning of the movie it was straight up on Cybertron, characters you recognize, looking like looking like how they should look. I mean,
Optimus Prime doesn't have lips.
No, I don't. No, he does not. And if he did,
was this a debate before?
Well, the Bay movie.
In the movie,
yeah,
his faceplate goes. It's supposed to protect it. It's supposed to be armor.
Yeah,
and he has an actual mouth because so. One of the problems with the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie is that scene where him and Green Goblin are on top of the roof, but both of them are wearing masks. So if you don't recognize their voices, you don't actually know who's talking because you can't see either of their mouths.
Well, so can't you see Willem Dafoe's mouth later on?
Oh, if you look closely, it's only a grate. You should be able, and also it's Willem Dafoe. He's a pretty recognizable voice.
Yeah.
Well, that if the whole point of that thing was that he had a contract with the military, with somebody with the Department of Defense, to make the power suit and the glider. How was the mask, the Goblin mask, a part of that? Where did that fall? Where was the document that with the requirements for the Goblin mask?
Right. Just I need a little extra in the budget.
Exactly.
We need. This is how we're gonna fit the rebreather and whatnot in there.
The eyes and everything.
Yeah, this is how the night vision works.
It's questions like that using actual logic are. If you go back to Bumblebee, if you ask yourself too many questions like that, you'll rip it apart because there's some things that just if you just think about it, it's why would anyone do this? Why would that make any sense? But I enjoyed it though. Now maybe it's because they made 5 of the other ones, right?
Yes.
I saw 4 of them. I didn't see the last night because I think it was almost 3 hours long.
Yes. It is very long.
Awful.
It is very bad.
So I didn't watch it. So
when they convinced Anthony Hopkins, he's to be in that movie.
They dangled a check in front of him like, there's more zeros on it. He was like, I have spasms. No, I don't.
They also like retconned it that Transformers had been on Earth for like forever. They were part of King Arthur
in this movie.
Yes, they were part of King Arthur's court. There was a Transformer that killed Hitler, and it was like a pocket watch.
It wasn't a gun that just transformed into.
No, because you see it in Anthony Hopkins' like study, like when. So also you got to remember. So, what the first 3 movies were the kid from Disney Channel,
Shia LaBeouf, yes.
Yeah, and then they changed to Mark Wahlberg, and that's the 2 movies. And like Mark Wahlberg is who's talking to Anthony Hopkins, and he's like, "Don't touch that. That's whatever the watch that killed Hitler or something." But they also show like a scene of World War II with Transformers attacking Nazis, and you're like, "But wait! At the beginning of the first movie, they say the Transformers are just arriving on Earth in like 2000. I don't understand."
Respect the game.
So, and then this movie does like the same stuff. Like
like this movie is very careful to try to tie right into the Bay ones, but also like winking and nodding, like, "Hey, Optimus Prime doesn't have lips that purse." So maybe we're going in the right direction. So I don't know. I really want Mike to see it because I know he's not going to love it, but
I think he'll enjoy it more.
I think there's some fan service in it that will definitely, like the first 20 minutes of that movie, I can see Mike like turning into like a 6-year-old again because it's really cool to see what was like in the old cartoons, but in like really expensive CG. It was kind of dope. So I enjoyed it.
Good stuff.
You know, we should just watch it right now. Let's stop the show and just go. Yeah, let's go. We're done.
We're gonna simulcast it.
Oh, what did Larry say? I tune in and hear about Transformers killing Hitler. I still how I thought my Thursday night would go. He said I did the portrait effect on Jazz's camera. Oh, the portrait effect. Oh, that's Skype has a blur your background.
I broke everything. Oh my god.
No.
Everything's fine.
We can still see you. We can hear you. We're you know.
What happened? Okay.
Oh, somebody was commenting on your camera, and I was saying that the blur your background thing was great.
Thank you.
Better for your camera than mine.
Say what?
I said it works better on your camera. Mine did not look like much.
I must be still running an old version of Skype because I do not see this out.
Get with the times, old man.
I literally just downloaded Skype like tonight.
You see the benefits of being on the Game with this podcast? You're downloading Skype. You're ahead of the game. That's what all the kids are talking about. Skype.
Yeah.
There's even a dance called the Skype. I'm not gonna do it, but yeah. What? 2007. More like.
Yeah.
So we try. All right.
Anything else you'd like to share other than your thoughts on Bumblebee?
I meant to watch some other things. I'm still watching The Good Place, which last week I was. Yeah, that's the show with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson and some other actors and actresses that I don't really know. Like it's basically a show like where people are in the afterlife or some version of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the first season, the guest we had last week, my coworker and friend Will, was saying like, "Oh, it's one of those shows where it gets good the second season." It's like I don't want to wait that long. It's only 10 shows in the first season, so it's not that long. But like the whole show like shifts as you go from season 1 to 2. Have you ever seen it?
I've not seen it, but I was saying about just like shows that take forever to get good. Like I don't know, it just it reminds me of another show that I was watching in the fall that I was just waiting for it to get good. And it happens. It didn't wow me. Everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh my gosh, wow, the show's so good," and I'm just like, "What part?"
Wait 35 hours and it gets great.
Right.
Well, Larry just said that the first 2 seasons were good. The second season was all right. Like once the shift happened, like I was like, "Wow, they've really just like the show was just transforming into something different." But then it kind of fell back into some of the old routines. I'm still watching it, but I don't know. I like it, but I don't know. I'm hoping they can deliver something new because once they explained everything, it was like, okay, the cat's out the bag. You know what the real deal is. So what are they going to do with it? So I don't know. My default is to watch The Office again. I'll just watch The Office no matter what.
So
Yeah, pretty much.
So speaking on The Office, I got a Netflix notification saying,
No.
"Oh, hey, shows you might like The Office U.S. edition or whatever."
The Office is one of the best
And I was
shows
like-
ever made.
Aaron, did you hack into my Netflix account?
Yes, I did.
This,
You're welcome.
is this you?
That
You're
show's so
welcome.
good.
It
I thought
really
you were gonna
is.
say that they're taking it off because it's just
Oh,
then I'm just
no.
destroying my Netflix account.
Like, to me, instead of spending $100 million on Friends, The Office is worth $100 million.
Well, aren't they making a? Well, isn't the creative team making a new show?
Yeah, that can
I don't
never.
know how I feel about those.
I'll watch them, but it
Whatever.
can't compare though.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta leave. You gotta
Exactly.
leave it dead. Like
But they don't know how.
I know, cause like with The Office, when I even when I watch it all the way through, I never watch it to the end again because I'm just like I don't want it to end, so I just start over at the beginning.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot. And once Michael leaves, it
Yeah,
dips for a while. It rises back up, but not nearly as
Yeah.
high as it was when he was on.
right.
Robert California was legit funny though, because he was so
He was.
creepy.
Like every time like people quote the Lizard King part, I lose it when he's just like I forgot everything he said. I forgot the actual quote, but he calls like when Andy was like Andy, I think it was about the Notebook, and like Andy was like, "I'm cool too" or whatever.
Oh,
like
when he had
I
the
don't-
names written.
Yeah,
And the
he
two
was
different-
just
yeah.
like I'm the Lizard King. You can't mess with me. I'm like, what is he like? What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, I've seen the first 4 or 5 seasons more than the other ones. Cause I will go back and tell. And Larry agreed. He said The Office is legit, tiny, quick slow plan and get on it. The Office is really that good. The hype is real.
I'm just saying, like
The hype is
Steve
real.
Carell is the greatest in my head in the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
If you don't like Steve Carell, you can't watch The Office.
Like,
I will say that because
The 40-Year-Old Virgin is a favorite
Well,
movie.
I will say that Michael is really hard to bear. like the one episode I skip is the high school one where he goes back to the high school and he's like, the kids were like, "You said that you were gonna pay for our college."
Scott's
and I'm just
Tots.
like, oh my, and I have to skip that episode.
Yeah,
I hate it so much.
I like it, but yeah, sometimes I'm not in the mood for it. I know what you mean. Scott's Tots was an excellent episode.
Yeah, Scott's Tots.
When he bought
I'm
them laptop batteries.
And he was like, "Well, they're lithium," and then the kids like literally.
That was good stuff, man. That was really
Oh
good.
my god.
Ty, you need to watch. Stop messing around, man. I'm just like Larry
was
said, watch
so
it. You have to watch it
good.
because Larry says so.
Right.
I'm busy watching Deadly Class and Russian superhero movie.
Did anybody catch the trailer for the new Shaft, which is called
did.
Shaft?
Shaft.
Yes, again, another movie called Shaft.
I'm confused.
I
Like, wasn't
caught
the
it
other
at-
one called Shaft?
The 2000.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, so that had to be 2000.
Yeah, like 2000. Yeah.
Uh,
Why are they calling
Yes,
it Shaft
that was Shaft.
again?
be-
It needs a
I'm-
subtitle.
I guess I'm kind of also surprised they're continuing the same. I thought they were going to make a sequel to the Samuel Jackson Shaft, and like this is the first time they've done a sequel for it, or
Well,
at least it's gotten
this
gotten
is the sequel.
further.
Yeah.
Well, right, but this is also 19 years later.
Yes.
I thought they were going to be a little sooner.
I mean, Richard
So-
Roundtree is in the trailer, so the original Shaft, which is cool, but it needs a subtitle. But don't just call. That's 3 movies called Shaft.
Yes.
That's confusing for
And who's gonna be
young
Shaft
people.
in this?
Richard
So you got
Roundtree,
Richard Roundtree, Samuel Jackson, and then
and
Samuel Jackson's
son. I forgot the actor who plays his son.
Yeah.
And it is a comedy too, which is also like that wasn't a comedy. It was never a comedy. So I don't
Yeah,
I
there's.
don't know.
I watched the trailer last night, and I was like, I'll
like-
see it again because I like I like.
Shaft here.
I saw-
That's what Scoop
yeah.
Moose says.
But yeah, I was shocked to see it, the trailer last night. I was like, wait, why am I seeing a trailer for Shaft?
Exactly.
Like it says it's
So-
like 10 minutes old. What? So,
It's the thing.
yeah. I mean, I'll see it. So,
We got a question in the chat from Larry. He says, Which consoles have a VR component on next generation? Will Sony continue its efforts? Will Microsoft get behind AR? And will Nintendo shake off the memories of the Virtual Boy? Jazz, you want to take any one of those? Yes,
I don't
no.
even have VR. I'm like, no. Like, well, how about you guys talk about it? Like, I don't really know. I don't know.
Okay.
Aaron?
Well, I think that with PSVR being, I guess, the quote unquote most successful VR platform, having sold the most units,
Okay.
I think they're going to continue with it. I mean, they put games out on VR like weekly. I mean, there's constant content.
Yeah.
There's some really good games on PSVR and VR period. So I think Sony definitely sticks with it. But I mean, the new console, they can certainly charge a premium for better hardware. People will stomach it because it's a launch, I guess.
Yeah.
Microsoft, I don't know. Like, apparently they've patented some new glasses that apparently use technology that's in HoloLens. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to jump into that next generation or not. They might just focus on the PC stuff, but who's to say? And yeah, we've all heard the rumors about Nintendo maybe doing something with the Switch, but I don't think that screen has a resolution, high enough resolution
It's
to really do
screen.
VR. And as far as the Virtual Boy, like, I think that's something they'd rather forget.
They would, but I mean, Nintendo has had like the GameCube. Part of the reason it had that digital out port on the first version of the GameCube was because Nintendo was developing a VR headset.
Yeah.
For the GameCube.
I thought it was a 3D thing. It was a 3D.
It was supposed to be you put it on your head.
Okay. What did you put on your head? Okay.
Yeah, it was still a headset kind of thing. So so like there was that discussion that was like they've been doing, and then you have the 3D from 3D that eventually went into 3DS.
Which we all used all the time. Yeah.
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 So I mean, I don't know. I would hope PlayStation offers some kind of backwards compatibility for whatever PS5 or whatever it's going to be called to support the existing headset, because they've sold over 2 million of them now. It seems like it would be tough to get people to go buy another headset.
Yeah. No, I can.
Soon.
Yeah, but at least a controller update or something.
But there's that rumor of a controller update already.
Yeah.
To get off the move. But it's just unless the PS4 can really push like who are the people that were just on 5K and 8K headsets at CES?
I have no idea.
So like until it can push that, like what are the benefits you're getting from a PSVR that's a slight upgrade? Probably one of those goofy headsets you slide your phone into VR, but instead with this.
That's what I was laughing at.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
like I don't know. They got my nephew one that like you put the phone in and it like I think there's
like
there's
three
a
of those
prism in the
things.
middle. Yeah, there's a prism in the middle. Like
Yeah.
just put the images out to each eye, which is what the Virtual Boy used to do. Like,
Yeah, and blind children who were 7 and under. Yeah.
yo, welcome to the glasses. So
Yikes.
Virtual Boy for the win.
yeah. Yo, Wario Land was awesome.
It was worth it.
Well, that's why. Have you watched any Jeremy Parrish's Virtual Boy?
All of them.
Okay, so he talks about golf and baseball in this week's one, the golf and baseball games that came out. So I had a Virtual Boy. I got one while they were clearancing them out, and
Lucky.
we got me a couple games, but the stand broke at one point. So what we used to do, and by we I really mean me, is you just lay down and then just have because the whole thing's really the headset.
Yeah.
Just have that like lay on your face, and it would look like once you were done, once you stopped playing and you took it off, it looked like you were wearing goggles for like the last hour.
You shouldn't play that for an hour.
I mean,
Okay.
I believe the warning was if you operate it for more than 45 minutes, please do not operate any heavy machinery or
Or
at
perform
least an hour
surgery.
afterwards. I was 12, so I wasn't really going to be using any heavy machinery.
I'm going
I
outside
agree
and
with
get into the Bobcat, Mom, Dad. All right, Tiny.
My parents calling me a name that I wouldn't be called for at least a couple more years.
There's a hole in your car, Mom and Dad. All right, Tiny.
No, I had. Wait. I had to have told the car story.
Yes, I've heard the car story.
Okay, you've heard. I operated a car when I was 4 years old.
Oh,
I accidentally crashed it into a tree and then abandoned my baby brother who was in his car seat to go hide.
Well, courage is learned.
Every
I was
baby
4.
for themselves.
I was 4. Yeah, like I had a broken leg. I had to hop on my.
You had a broken leg?
Oh, okay. We'll tell this real quick.
I don't remember that part.
I had broken my foot. So this is the whole reason that I was put into the car.
Now it's a foot.
I had a cast all of my leg. I had a cast all essentially up from like right below my knee down to my foot, but I had broken my foot. So I couldn't ride my bike, and I wasn't allowed. There's a hill. Our neighborhood's essentially where my parents live is built on a hill. I wasn't allowed to race my wheelchair down a hill, so my parents put me in
Where did
the
the
van.
wheelchair come from?
What? Because I was a 4-year-old.
A broken leg to a broken foot to a cast to a wheelchair.
Well, no, I was a 4-year-old, so using crutches wasn't always. So I had they had a wheelchair.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that does make
So-
sense.
Not the werewolf part, but yeah,
Yes.
sure.
So
I missed that part.
I wasn't able to like race. It had wheels. Why couldn't I race it down the hill?
Scoop Moose also says it happened on the moon. So he said-
But anyway, so my parents put me in
Story gets more.
my mom's car was a VW Vanagon, so like an old VW bus kind of van.
So you drove a lot.
So they put me in, and it's really weird. Our driveway is also like it's tilted up because of how the hill is and how they equalize how they tried to like square off the houses. So they put me in the van again and tell me to pretend drive, like pretend to drive. The Vanagon's a stick, so
pretend to drive. That just no.
That's how it's, again. I'm a 4-year-old. Entertain myself. I at one point apparently popped the emergency brake, and this is a stick, so it's not in gear, so it starts rolling backwards. And it's me and my brother that's in there. My mom was talking to the neighbor. I think she was helping the neighbor or something. So the car rolls down the driveway into the street, into the neighbor's yard, and thankfully hits the tree, because if the tree wasn't there, it was going into the neighbor's living room.
Hey,
So, yeah.
You invited us over. We're here.
Small wonders. To which, as I am told, because I remember very little of this.
Yeah, you were 4, so yeah.
Right. I must have hobbled. I got out of the driver's seat, hobbled my ass across the street into the house, and hide under my bed. And my mom comes out from the neighbor's house to my brother crying in his car seat in the car. That's now in
on the yard.
Yard.
Or in the yard.
Across, with a tree going through the back window.
And you and your wheelchair are missing.
Oh well, no, I don't know where the wheelchair is, but I am. The driver's side door is open. I am nowhere to be found.
There's like a cloud of smoke in the shape of you, but you were nowhere to be found. Right?
So so that's the first time I drove. Drove is generous, but it makes the story funnier. So welcome to
Kids. Yeah, that's.
I mean, yeah, this is all these dumb stories.
All right. So did we actually answer Larry's question? So yes,
I think
the PlayStation's gonna have something. Microsoft
I
maybe.
think, yes.
Yeah.
I don't see Microsoft like they have put HoloLens to a business app. Like that's what they use it for. Like it integrates with like LinkedIn or whatnot. So I think the ultimate idea is it's supposed to get small enough to be glasses. So like you can look at someone and like you're at some vendor party or whatever, and like it brings up their resume. And
That doesn't sound. Yeah.
or like if you're like, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of people I don't remember their names, so that sounds super helpful. Hi, you.
It's still loading. Chet,
Look at that.
you betcha.
I mean, they're wearing a name tag. So, How are you? Yeah, we'll get that purchase order in ASAP.
We didn't buy
Literally,
anything.
Like, do you even remember my name? And you're just like, I'm out of data.
The circle's still spinning.
But-
Right.
My boss here, I don't know if my boss has met you, so let me introduce. This is my boss, and then hopefully that guy's or the person says their name back.
How do you spell your last name again? I'm writing invitations.
How many Z's are in your last name? None. Okay. Wait for this to load.
Is your like the first letter of your first name a capital? What is the capital? I don't know.
If I had to spell your name, how would you spell it?
Look over there.
And then they're like, Jake.
It's David. Oh, damn it. So
you know, I have an office callback. Remember the one where they were doing the roast of Michael?
Yeah.
I think it was the roast of
yeah,
Michael.
that guy. They were like, "What's this guy's name?"
Yep.
And he was like, and he said something, probably like Jerome.
No. His name was Michael. He said, "I gave you a ride home last week when your car broke down." He was like, "What's his name?" He was like, "His name is Michael."
Oh my gosh.
You gotta watch The Office, man. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna keep going over this weekly.
Yeah.
I don't know what choice you have. You either conform or you'll abide.
Leave the show. I guess it's just this will be my last podcast.
He said, "I will not conform. I will talk to you later." Or never.
I consider
again.
myself the luckiest man in baseball. No, wait, that's Lou Gehrig's speech. So anyway, do we want to talk about games? Because I don't see any other feedback.
Jazz, what games have you been playing and enjoying?
I have been playing and enjoying a couple games. Let me see what I put down first. So there's this game on Steam right now called You Have a Drunk Friend. Okay. It is hilarious. Like the game, it's on sale right now for like $1.49, and it's just like it's one of those games where you have to like control each arm and like I forgot like what kind of game that's called, but it's like
what's the Octodad kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, so I mean, it's like WASD. You know, you can move or you can use the arrows or whatever. But your friend is drunk. I'm pretty sure you're both drunk. But your friend is drunk and they have like a health bar and they're constantly falling over and like hurting themselves. And like you want to like sober them up and stop them from hurting themselves, but you have to like help them do things around the house. Mm-hmm. And it's just, let's just say, it's just hilarious because it's just, first of all, I ended up just quitting because I killed my friend like 5 times. Like at the one point she like headbutted the TV and like flipped over it and died. And I was just like, I don't know. I'm like,
you're a great friend.
These things happen.
Just don't. I guess I just can't drink with my friends. I guess, but no, that game is really funny, and it's $1.50. Like it's just if you're just bored and you want to try out a new game, then try that one. And so that one's on Steam. Another one that I was playing, someone introduced me to is Portal Knights. They were saying I was trolling some kids on Discord, and I was asking for games that are better than Minecraft. And most of them got mad, but then someone said that I should try Portal Knights. Mm-hmm. And so Portal Knights is like Minecraft, but not. It's actually really pretty. I like the game. It's very pretty.
I played it once when it first came out.
Yeah, like I got it. I forgot how much. That one was on sale too on Steam. And so I was playing that one. That one's super fun. I just got through the first world and like somebody was trying to play it with me. So I'm probably going to play it some more because I can really like nerd out in games like that. And so that's probably just going to be my like, oh my gosh, it's 3 a.m. like that kind of game. And then last but not least, which I keep closing it, but I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 3, which we talked about before, but that was just my last game on there, which is so far amazing. But every time I turn it on, I'm like terrified because
why?
Because I know how Square Enix is, and Square Enix loves to kill people. So I'm just a little terrified every time I turn it on because I'm just like, I don't know what cutscene's gonna happen that's gonna just ruin my day. So yeah, that's what I'm playing right now anyway.
So What are your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3 as compared to the other 9 games in the series?
So, Kingdom Hearts 3 took a lot of things from the more recent Kingdom Hearts, like the other more recent Kingdom Hearts games, which I appreciate. I appreciate how smooth it is. It's very smooth. It's running on a new engine. I forgot what engine, but it's running on a new one, so that changes things. It's running on the same engine they used for Aqua's Story 0.2, Birth by Sleep. So, and that one is a really smooth game. Like, if you just want to, like, because that game you can honestly play, you can finish it in, I think, like, I played the whole game in, like, a 2-hour stream. So, like, you can play it, like, start to finish. That game's really short. But I loved, like, the whole game, like, the whole way that the game was, like, just, I don't know. It's just a very smooth gameplay compared to, like, 1 and even 2. And then also they took the nonsense from Dream Drop Distance where you can like swing around poles and stuff and fly around. I don't want to do all that. I don't want any of that nonsense. But and then apparently the Dream Meters are in this too, from Dream Drop Disappointment. I hate them, and so I've been avoiding that.
Those are like the Pokemon monsters, right? Like,
yes, I hated it. Like, it's one of the reasons why I couldn't finish Dream Drop Distance. It was too much.
It wasn't nearly as good as 359 over 7 divided by 8.
Wait, you mean 358 over 2?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that one. Okay, but
what
that
you
one,
said.
358 over 2 is a good story. It's probably my favorite story in the series.
Could they have just chosen another name that maybe said something about the game?
Because it's literally like, the character in that game, the main character in that game, Roxas, is only alive
not even
for
Sora?
300. No, it's not.
No.
He's only alive for 358 days.
Why?
Which, if you think about it, is like really sad. Like, he lives for 358 days, and it's.
Is he an infant?
No.
So is he heartless?
So he's born as an adult.
Is he a nobody?
Is he a replicant?
He's a nobody. Right. He's a nobody. So.
Aaron, what's a nobody?
What's a replicant? I don't know.
I know what a replicant is.
What's a Deckard?
The titles are relevant for the story. Like, yes,
yeah.
It seems weird looking.
Don't encourage them,
in.
Tiny.
Because I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna be super judgy when like there's stuff that I enjoy that like.
That's just as ridiculous, and I'm the same way. So I'm sorry,
like,
Jazz.
yeah,
Continue.
like,
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah, like 358 over 2 days. To be honest, I honestly forgot what the over 2 days was. I know it, and like somebody came in my stream the other day and was like, "You don't know the Kingdom Hearts game because blah," and I was just like, "I've been playing this game for 2 years. I forgot." Like,
even I know what the 2 days. The 2 days are the 2 different days of the 2 different hearts of Roxas divided by the 4 hearts of Sora.
It's not
multiplied by the circumference.
No one's doing
Donald
trigonometry here. Okay, like,
it's like over 2 days. Well,
don't
either way.
Is it really 360 days then? Like, are you adding 2 or dividing by 2?
No, the 2 days were like the 2 days were the days that he was out of the organization. Was that it? I forgot.
Which organization?
He's in Organization 13, which has 14 members.
Are there 12 other organizations?
But are most of the members the same person? Just from different time frames?
No, it's just most of the members are different people. They're all different nobodies. They're just, I think some of them are like possessed, honestly. Like, but I feel like we're gonna find out like what's actually wrong with
2
them.
2 days of vacation. Scoop Moose said. It's really 206, 360, but it's fine. It's.
Does he? I think he does get at least one vacation day though.
What does he do with it though?
Eat sea salt ice cream.
Yeah. I think he went to the beach that day. Yeah, he did.
He destroys a Gumby ship.
A Gumby ship? Is that what you're saying?
I wish I did say that. I said Gumby. I wish I had said Gumby ship. In the Poke universe.
But the last thing that I appreciate about Kingdom Hearts 3 that I personally think that they borrowed from Final Fantasy 15 is the fact that Donald and Goofy, 1, have personalities, and 2, they talk to you during the game. Like, even if it's just like because they added the cell phone in this game, so and you have to like try to take pictures of like the Mickey Mouse ears in different places, and they'll be like, "Oh, I think that's like the symbol right there," and like they'll talk to you and they'll give you hints, and it makes the game a little better because then you're and they also make Goofy more like a dog in this one.
So he's more like Pluto.
No, he's not like he doesn't walk on all fours.
Yeah, Pluto and Goofy are two different.
No, I know, but
types of creatures.
If they make him more like a dog, that means is he less anthropomorphized? Is that a word?
The way that I think they made Goofy more like a dog is that in one of the scenes, you hear like a little kid like yelling help, and you like Goofy's like, I think I hear something, and it's somebody that's like a mile away, and only he heard it. And then like another time, like you see like a bunch of Heartless like just hanging out on a tree, and they're just like, what are they doing? And then there's like Goofy is the only one who notices tiny little Ratatouille like up in the tree, and you're just like, oh, well, he's a dog, so he should be able to see that kind of stuff.
Why was Ratatouille in the tree with a bunch of Heartless? Shouldn't Ratatouille be like cooking under some man's hat?
He was trying to cook, but he was trying to get fruit so he could cook. But the Heartless, I don't know where he got the fruit from, honestly. It was the middle of a forest.
We're talking about an anthropomorphic dog, so it's fine. It's all acceptable. Like, well, we're good. So let me ask you a question. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with the Pluto and Goofy thing, like, I don't know if anyone's, like, read Wicked or, like, seen the musical.
I have.
It's like, you have?
I have.
Like, it's like how there's, like, the animals with capital A, and they, like, they stand upright, and they, like, talk, like, they speak English, and then animals with lowercase, and they are, like, actual animals. And that's how I kind of feel like Goofy is, and it makes me, like, Goofy and Pluto, it makes me kind of sad. Like, Pluto is just, like, he's a lowercase animal. Like,
well, that's what,
he
like,
always
there's
was,
something,
though.
Yeah, it's like, Pluto or Goofy is an extraordinary, it's something, there's some designation to identify, like, why, because there are actual birds in the Disney universe, and then there's Donald Duck, who, like, walks around, talks, and wears clothes. So, like, there is a different, I mean, he wears clothes, and, like, he has a vest or whatever in this, doesn't he have a hat? He wears a hat.
Yeah, he wears a hat.
He has a wizard's hat or whatever at some point, doesn't he? So, anyway, so there is literally a term Disney has that like identifies the difference between
the higher animals and the lower animals.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it is. But I was listening to the Waypoint podcast, and they're doing a series of podcasts because they're trying to figure out the lore of Kingdom Hearts.
Good luck with it.
It is very interesting to hear like Patrick Klepek and Austin Walker talk about.
So, Jazz, let me ask you this question: what Disney properties do you wish were in it? Were in Kingdom Hearts that aren't now? And please don't say Song of the South.
Why would I want that?
I know.
Why would anybody want that?
Exactly.
Dude, you know what needs to be in Kingdom Hearts? And if it's not in Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm going to be a little offended. Is the Three Caballeros with Donald Duck. I don't understand why nobody knows this movie.
No, I know it, but I'm thinking, wouldn't that conflict with the Donald Duck they already have in there?
Not necessarily, because in Dream Drop Distance, they have the Three Musketeers with Donald, Goofy, and Mickey. And, like, Donald and Goofy have to kind of pretend like they're not there because they don't want the Mickey in that world to know that they're not in this world with him. It's really confusing. And they do the same thing when they go back in time to Steamboat, was it Steamboat Willie?
Yeah. Or Steamboat Itchy.
And so they go back in time to Steamboat Willie, and they're like, hey, it's Mickey, but it's not their Mickey, it's like old school Mickey. So this Mickey doesn't know them. So they do kind of do that more than once. So they could do a Three Caballeros, like, world where it's like sombreros and stuff all the time, and I don't understand why they wouldn't.
But aside, like, what have they done with the Three Caballeros?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, aside from...
An epic song.
But, like, aside from their just because I happen to stay at this resort, they're at the Coronado at, like, Disney World down in Orlando. But aside from that, like, I can't remember the last time I saw them in like, a proper property. So
I don't know. But that's the world that I would want to see. Oh, that, and why isn't there, like, a Goofy movie world? Like,
is his son in the game, Max?
we can't admit that Goofy's had sex. Like that's why that's there.
Goofy is a father.
So like we can't that.
I mean, even if he just like plucked like
Disney
a
doesn't
dog
talk
egg
about
off-
Max though. Like other than like they haven't talked about Max since the Goofy movie. Like I feel like there's been nothing you've seen from Max since then.
Well, the Goofy movie too.
Well, yeah, from the Goof Troop / Goofy movie, but like that was 20 years ago. Like there hasn't been anything since. Because again, we can't admit that Goofy had sex. That's
the whole problem right there.
100% there. Or that he's a deadbeat dad that left his son to go adventure with Donald.
There's that store, this new store called Box Lunch. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I saw it on Andre Meadows, a Black Nerd Comedy. I saw he went there.
I think they are. First of all, I think they're owned by Hot Topic.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And second of all, they have Goofy movie merch, and I want all of it.
Don't they donate like a lot of their money to?
Yeah, to Feeding America.
Yeah, Feeding America.
Like every $10, they buy a meal for somebody.
That's a callback. I like that. So if you buy, so you can rationalize buying that probably overpriced Goofy stuff by helping to feed somebody who's starving.
Or you could just feed them.
Yes, yes, you could.
No, but I mean, either way, if you're gonna buy something like, oh my gosh, like here's the new, like they have some Kingdom Hearts stuff. I think it's a little lacking, but like if I wanted like Kingdom Hearts pajama pants, it's like okay, I was gonna get these anyway, but the money's going to a good cause, so I'd rather do that than buy it from.
Yeah, if you're gonna buy it, like it's cool that something's gonna come from it.
Right.
Chippendale syringe set. I mean, you know, if you're gonna buy it, that's all.
Okay. Chippendale makes the phone in Kingdom Hearts 3. They're also what turned Sora into a millennial so that he can take pictures like selfies and whatnot.
Yes. I'm just like, stop with the selfies all the time.
What year do millennials technically end again?
Is it 2000?
That seems like I don't understand how somebody.
It's like 1980 to 2000.
How can someone born in like 1980, 81 really be lumped in the same category as someone born in like 98?
I don't think.
How can I and someone in 98 be in the same category? That's a great question.
I don't understand that.
Like I didn't grow up with I grew up with the internet, but I didn't grow up with cell phones and whatnot. Yeah, like I don't know.
I don't get that. I'm sorry, like if you were like internet, I don't mean like the military internet or how it started. I mean like like anybody can theoretically use it internet. Like that's a whole nother that I don't get it. But I know we talked about this before. I don't get how you can lump those people together.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, because when you said 2000s, I'm thinking like that's odd to me because people that were born in the 2000s they've actually had cell phones their entire life.
Yes.
Like seriously have. Like they just graduated high school last May.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it cuts off at 2000.
Yeah,
and then
but still,
Xennials or whatever they're calling the people after them are whatever 2002. I mean, it's if it goes essentially like a 20-year gap, then yeah, like
that's
yes,
the
you're
issue
gonna have
because
outliers.
I feel like technology didn't make the leaps, 40, 50 years ago, so generations didn't seem. Now, mind you, this is the way I'm looking at it. I wasn't born in the 50s or 60s, so this is my limited view.
Well,
that color.
If you think about it, like people in 1910 acted totally different than people in 1920. Like.
I never thought about that before, actually, but you're right.
Look at news articles that say, like, the bike is an invention that's going to really disturb and all those bike people. Like, what?
They're going to roll right over you.
Like, I was reading something, it was in, like, a French newspaper. It was like, those bikers, they're going to disturb all of society, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay. It's the same as like comic books and Dungeons and Dragons is making your kids love the devil.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why it kind of sounds like Stan Lee, but
yeah, it does.
More Jordan Peele's version of Stan Lee. But yes, Like it's what I mean. It's the moral panic of the day. So
I just don't. I like to me someone who played like Atari 2600. Just can like if that was their first system, how can you be the same? How can you be the same generation as somebody whose first system was a PlayStation? It doesn't make sense to me.
But isn't that the same idea as what is Gen X or Aaron? You're in Gen X, I believe.
Yes, I am.
What is the range for Gen X?
I guess it would be like 1959, 1960 to like
1961 to 1981.
yeah, that's that too.
People, like people that could have served in the Vietnam War to
That's a really big gap.
That is a big gap.
people that are like cocaine is awesome.
Like, everybody's on it. Why am I talking like this?
Right. Like it's again like yes, you have divides inside a generation. Also,
Yeah,
this generation thing is literally just for marketing to people.
It really is. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything.
Like they mean nothing, but like it's the idea. Like I mean, and I'm incredibly thankful that I grew up before Facebook and everyone having a cell phone.
Yes.
Like
When I remember when Facebook first came out, I had to lie and say that I was 18. Because remember when it first came out, it was only for college.
it was. I will go so far to say this. When I first heard of Facebook, you had to have a college email address
Yeah.
from that college's domain because they were only rolling it out by domain. So like if your college wasn't enrolled in it, you could not get into Facebook.
They should have kept it that way.
Wow.
They should have kept it that way.
Crazy, like crazy, and like now, yeah, like.
I mean, I was going to tell a story about like, MySpace or Black Planet, but never mind.
I mean,
I'm going to age myself right
well,
now.
yeah, if you want to
Still
put like
Planet,
my first website was on GeoCities.
Yeah,
like-
so
I
was
remember
mine.
GeoCities.
I remember
Yeah.
AOL before they let you get to the actual internet, and you were just hanging out in like AOL's walled garden.
CompuServe and Prodigy. I mean, that's,
Right.
Yeah.
I did.
So-
I hung out mostly on like the AOL like kids chat before like the perverts got in there. Like,
Well, thank God for
maybe
that.
Maybe they were always in there. I don't know.
I was gonna say
They were.
They were probably always there.
They were always there, but at the time I was like wasn't really talking to people. I was just like, oh, this is so cool. There's other people, and then I would go play with my Barbies. Like, I don't know. It was just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I had net zero, and I got 20 hours a month.
Yeah.
Hey, look at you.
You had to ration that. Like, how I'm gonna go watch some like VH1, MTV, and BET, see the songs that I want, so that I can tell Napster to download them because it's gonna take 4 hours for me to download a song.
I remember when I was in school, and I went to one of my friend's rooms, and I got introduced to Napster, and it just blew my mind. He's like, type in any song you want. I was like, he's like, there you go. I was like, this is amazing. That was nuts. Metallica came in my dorm room and beat me up and told me to stop downloading music. That's a whole other thing.
The one funny thing I remember about technology so clear, I was in the computer lab at high school, and someone was talking about Google, and like we kept saying goggle because like at this point Google had just launched as a search engine, so like we didn't know how to pronounce it, and I could still like, man, these people took over the world. So, and I remember when like they were
all about
garbage.
web crawler.
I mean,
Lycos.
there were actually better search engines than that, but like Yahoo was putting
Yeah.
way money in than Google.
Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Yeah. And it became
So,
just Ask, which is like,
Yeah.
it lost
And
all
then
the
it just-
charm.
Went away, I think.
Yeah, they killed the entire staff. Yeah.
That was an extreme move on their part.
It really was. You can Google it.
They just murdered Jeeves, first of all. Because after they became Ask, they got rid of Jeeves, and then it's like, what's the point in coming here?
Exactly. There's no personality. There's no balding white
Right.
man holding a tray with a beverage on it. I mean,
Right.
What do you want me to do
talk
here?
Bubble with my answer. I'm not even interested anymore. Do
I-
you remember when? Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, go for it. I'll tell.
Do you remember when encyclopedias were like
Yes.
Encarta, like
yeah.
Encarta was awesome.
going
It had video
home
clips.
and doing research? It's like, I never researched anything with Encarta. I would just Google, or not. I'm saying Google now, but I would just like search for words that I really had no business searching for, and then like my homework just wouldn't get done.
And,
Like,
that's the report that you did. You know?
yeah.
This is nothing but curse words. Yeah. Yes,
Right.
it is. Okay.
My dad went back to school to get his, when I was in high school, get his bachelor's and then his master's. And I remember proofreading one of his master courseworks, and it was talking about how many websites existed. And like part of it also, I remember the statistic, how many of them were porn. But like at this point,
99.9%.
there was like, it was a number that I could imagine. There were only something like maybe 300,000 websites total. And then, like, I think it was something like 15% of them were porn. And it was like that number is crazy. Like, I couldn't, I don't know what the number, like, considering how domains now work, like, what a website actually is and, like, what the number would be of usable websites in the world today. Like, yeah. Anyway, the internet's crazy.
I know.
It sure is.
It's crazy how technology has changed so much in such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, it is a very small, like, because I always ask my parents, like, when you were my age, did you think that we'd be able to, like, see people over the internet and, like just all this stuff?
Or
like,
have the internet.
Or have the internet, right.
I mean, think about the favorite thing that I see always people point out. It used to be, you don't tell anyone your name on the internet, don't give them any personal information, you lie, and you don't share anything. And now it's, tell a person to come pick you up at your house so they can drive you someplace.
Yep.
It sounds really creepy when you say it like that.
Oh yeah, no, it's 100%. Like it's the difference of, like, my first email was something like I'd never use, because now my professional email at least is my name, because then people recognize it and can like use it. In the day, it would have been like, you know what? I'll tell my first email. My first email was DrewHill5ST. And that's because AOL had a 10-character limit, so I couldn't put 5 steps at the end.
From eternity.
Anyway, so like, that was anyway, that was my first email. Also my first AIM name. Like, and I never used that. And the funniest thing, so when I started the job, the place I work now, I started as an intern. And I was like, oh, I'm never going to work here. So there were 4 Daves. So I'm like, oh, you can call me Tiny. It's fine. But also, I wasn't going to set up an AIM for them to use over the summer that I was interning. So I was like, oh, here's just my regular AIM, DrewHill5ST, whatever. People still reference that at work today.
Wow.
They're like, hey, you remember AIM and your dumb name for it?
Yes, I do.
I also remember I'm your boss. So, hey.
You're fired. I remember that.
Remember this? No, but, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it was totally different. Like, yeah, it was all, like, don't give any personal information. Don't, like, age, sex, location. You saw someone type into a chat and you're like, I don't know, what am we going to say to this?
Right.
Yeah, anyway, the internet.
How did we get on this topic?
I have kind of like a question that it's kind of random. Okay. And in part ways, I'm ashamed to be asking it, but
I'll write that down. Ashamed.
Sorry. I'm ashamed.
Did you guys ever play Second Life?
No. I never played it.
I logged into Second Life several times. I never got into Second Life.
See, Second Life was it was a saga for me. I loved that game. It was honestly, I played it when I was in high school, and I'm pretty sure you had to be 18 to play the real Second Life thing. So I lied. But I got into that game because I used to play The Sims Online. I don't know if you guys know that game. Yeah. That game was pretty dope. I liked that one.
That game had some problems.
I played the first Sims.
There was a prostitution ring busted in The Sims Online.
Oh my gosh, seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
We just
find that. It was super weird stuff happening in The Sims Online.
I was not a part of that part.
I'm not it's what I remember about The Sims Online.
Yeah. Well, I played that, and then a group of my friends were like, "Hey, come play Second Life with us because it's like The Sims Online but better." Because this is when The Sims Online was dying, and I was like, "Okay." So I started playing Second Life, and
The Sims Online never die. You take that back.
I know they tried to bring it back not that long ago, and I don't know if it made it.
It probably didn't.
But no. But yeah, so I was kind of addicted to that game for a minute.
When did Second Life come out?
I don't know.
It was in.
Because it was never really on my radar. Like, I knew what it was, but I never thought about, hey, I should play this. It just never occurred to me.
I mean, I played it when I was in high school, so I had a lot of time on my hands. I don't know why adults played that game. Like, you think
wow.
about it.
So it came out in 2003, which is way earlier than I thought it did. But like people campaigned in Second Life. Like there were like, I remember businesses holding conferences, like or press conferences and whatnot in Second Life. There was stuff, and then there was also the people that
real money in there.
Yeah, there were also the people that figured out how you can make it rain dildos. Like there was a whole lot of stuff going on in
Just
Second
simple coding. That was.
And you can still play this game?
Yes, I believe so.
Some version of it probably, but yeah, no, like yeah, Second Life.
Yeah, that was a dark time in my life. I've recovered, so I'm better now. But
Oh, good.
yeah. Are you guys Googling Second Life now?
Yeah.
I mean, I
I'm
have
on
it
the
up on the
site right
second
now.
screen, like man,
Yep.
Second. I have a coworker or a guy I used to work with now who got huge into Second Life, and
They made fun of it, huh?
It's hard not to.
Second Life is what a lot of like I feel like sci-fi from the 80s thought like what we would be doing on what the internet would eventually become.
Yeah.
It's like it's supposed to be like, oh, we're all gonna go into the Oasis in Ready Player One, or blah 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 blah, and
Especially blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
I think Second Life could have been a lot. I feel like it could have lasted a lot longer if it had come out after VR was like more established, because I feel like that's exactly what they wanted. Like Second Life was supposed to be like just like an avatar world where you can like do whatever you want. Like you can have a mansion and like drive fast cars and all that stuff. And like if you had a good computer, then everything looked beautiful. Like it was a great game, you know? But I mean, I was running off of like a QVC desktop, so mine looked like trash. But but either way, like it was still a fun game. I feel like if it would have been VR, it probably would have been like VR like in like 5 years. Like not even VR now. But it probably would have gotten even bigger.
I mean, the funny
it was pretty big.
It's good enough
The
for the
funny
white
thing you
fruit. So it's good enough
I'm
for
looking
us.
at like it came out June 2003. You think about it, a year later, World of Warcraft will launch, and like that was an MMO phenomenon.
And that actually, I lost a bunch of my friends. Not lost, but I actually my friends on Second Life started disappearing left and right. They're like, World of Warcraft, I'm going to play, and I'm like, I'm not paying for that. So I never got into World of Warcraft, but like yeah, a lot of people left Second Life for World of Warcraft, which is interesting because like obviously people who played Second Life play online games, but it's like it's not even the same genre. And like Second Life is a giant chat room, and World of Warcraft is
that's
an
what
MMO.
people ended up treating like. So this is one of the few times where it was a nerdy conversation, and I was the odd man out, which is a weird thing to happen. I was at a engagement party. And we were walking to the place where the party actually was, and I was with a bunch of the people, and they all played World of Warcraft together. And like these are people that generally wouldn't identify as geeks, and like this is like 2009-ish probably. Mm-hmm. And like they're all talking about armor. They're talking about. I'm just like, this is what this feels like. Like when I don't give an F about what they are talking. Like, and I had played World of Warcraft, but I was done with it.
Yeah.
But, like, this is that feel, and like it was just, and these were people that like this was what they did to like socialize, how they kept in touch, and it was like,
yeah,
cool. Like you all should stop like that and come play City Heroes. So it was funny, like it was, and then like if I ever yelled that at anyone seriously,
I said ironically.
yeah, I should just be beaten. So, but yeah.
What I was trying to say is that Second Life, they were making fun of it on The Office. On that episode, Dwight got really into Second Life when Angela broke up with him.
He's like, my life is so great, I started the second one.
I was like, oh my gosh, Dwight.
And then Jim baited a cow just to mess with
Just
Dwight.
to follow him around.
Again,
like, so you have a guitar? Like
Right.
Again, this just seems to indicate Jim is a terrible person.
He really is not. Dwight is nuts and annoying and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what? Watch the show and then we'll talk about it. How about that?
Okay.
I mean, and also, tell us what you've been playing.
Okay. So I don't know why, but I started and then finished Metro Last Light, the redone version they released for this generation and for PC. So this is the sequel to Metro 2033, which is, and again, weirdly Russian content or whatever, created content. So post-apocalypse, but in Russia, the idea is their fallout shelters are all built inside their subway systems. Like their subway system second or doubles as a fallout shelter for most of their population. And then how essentially the communities evolve around, oh, they're stuck at this station or whatnot. So Last Light is the second game where you've now saved the metro and the people, but now there's unrest. Like there's a whole communist community set up, and they're going against the people that want to have try to set up like a representational democracy versus there's Nazis on another part of the metro line, and there's also aliens attacking.
At the same time.
Yeah, and you as the character have to you've been tasked with going and finding the last of the aliens because they got destroyed at the end of the last game, and exterminating them. But as your story goes, you find out that they didn't the aliens didn't know what they were doing, kind of deal. Like they didn't realize they were hurting the humans as they were trying to communicate.
Sure, they didn't.
But you also have to deal with, oh, hey, the communists have discovered this viral weapon, and they're going to release it on the rest of the metro to kill them off so that they can take over and continue with their way of life. And it's an interesting, if you haven't played it yet, the third game in the series, I guess, is coming out soon, called Metro Exodus, where you're on a train.
It's on Steam.
Yeah, it was
Epic
on
Store.
Steam. Now it's on Epic exclusively. It'll also be on consoles. But I guess you're on a train like Snowpiercer style. So like it's above ground and like you're crossing the apocalyptic world. So I don't know. It's an interesting idea. It's definitely a different take than like the Fallouts where you see like, oh hey, everyone came out of their vault and then go kill a bunch of raiders and I don't know, set off a nuke. So it's a different idea. Like this whole idea is so many people survived in this world, but they're all struggling to live in essentially retrofitted subway stations. And
Space
how does
is
that
finite, so yeah, it's
right? Like how do you maintain supplies and all this stuff?
cannibalism.
And that does happen at points. They go to the surface, so you have to manage your like gas mask and the filters that are in it. But it's 20 years after, so like the filters last 5 minutes now. So like you have to be looking at how to do this.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's also like I think you get each of the first two redone, so they're with the new control schemes for like $10 each or whatever.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and then Aaron, you and I played Apex Legends with Mike J.
Yeah, we
I
did.
keep hearing about that game.
So,
Like bad things though.
Oh,
Like-
well, it's free, so if you want to, dabble.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean it's free on PS4, Xbox One, PC.
Oh.
It is a first-person shooter battle royale.
Yep.
In the Titanfall universe.
Is it
But
it in the Titanfall universe?
Yes,
Officially?
because the Apexes and the IME, which is the dropship, those are all the factions from or the IMC from Titanfall. But there are no Titans, and you cannot wall run in this game, which is fine. But
So.
So the idea is the Apex Legends are essentially mercenaries, but it's a hero shooter. So it's like it has Overwatch tones to it.
Yeah.
Each of the characters, while everyone moves the same, Basic movement is the same. Each of the characters have a passive, an active, and an ultimate.
Okay.
And they're all unique. So, like, there's a robot you can play, for example, who his passive, I think, is he can see these terminals, and that'll tell him the next place where the circle will be in a battle royale as the circle's closing in. And that's the only character that can see it. And you are on a team of 3 right now. That's the only mode they have is a three player, 60 people launch. Last team to survive wins. And like it's been fun so far. Like
I'm terrible at it, but yeah.
It's still the same battle royale. You have to enjoy like, hey, prep and learn how
die
to
instantly. Yeah.
Yeah, learn how.
I'm really good at that part.
Yeah. Pick up a gun and die as soon as you pick it up. Hey, I got a.
But the cool thing is, like, there are these character abilities let you have some more dynamic actions. That, like, the guy that I traditionally play he's the tank essentially. He puts down a shield. You can put a bubble shield down, and his ultimate is an airstrike. Like, cool. Like, that's awesome. I can make that work. But I need to have a teammate that's a healer and maybe another one that's a damage dealer to help balance out the amount of hits and protection I can do for the team. So it's free, like Aaron said.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
give it a shot. Like,
the quality, it's not like
really
it's
good.
bad quality, but it is a free
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's the weird things that have been coming out. Like, I don't know if you've seen the stuff today from of course, from Reddit, because it's a place of terrible people.
Yes.
They've realized that there are multiple characters that are LGBTQ in the game, and then the people are like, but my main, it says he has a boyfriend, that means he's gay. I can't play a gay character. That's terrible. Blah blah blah. Like, it's the dumb. It's
nothing to do with you playing this game at all. Like,
it's the dumbest. Like, anyway. So,
I hate Reddit, and I'm on there every day.
you're part of the problem.
I know.
So it's that kind of, like, I've been seeing that stuff has been coming today, and it's like, I don't know. I think this game is a lot of fun. Like, there's the people that are going to complain that, like, oh, it's an EA property, and it has microtransactions in it, but, like, they're all cosmetic and whatnot.
Free to
Everything.
play. I mean,
It's also free
to play.
to play. So
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it's there's, if you get past those that I think I would call them a minority. Like, it sounds like a lot of people are really, I think they hit over 2 million players in the first 24
Wow.
hours or whatever. So, like,
yeah, I'll check it out.
It's more than
like,
my game.
yeah, exactly. What game was that again?
Let's not talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what game is it?
No, I'm just being.
I want.
I don't have it.
Oh.
Sorry.
And then the last two, real quick, I only played these because I was waiting for Apex to install. I played some Ticket to Ride on my Xbox. That game's great.
Yeah, we should play that in some
I've
Carcassonne.
heard of it, but
I don't know why you'd ever play the physical version of that game.
Ticket to Ride or Carcassonne?
Ticket to Ride.
I don't have it. I've played it. I just don't own it.
Understood, but, like, having a digital version of that game means you don't have to deal with, like, 100 different little train tokens and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, it's so, like, I was playing again. I'm like, man, this game is great. Like, and I was thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I have a trip coming up. Like, I could just play it on my iPad for a good chunk of that time. So,
And Carcassonne.
yeah. And then the last one, Aaron sent me over a code for this. I played Wargroove, which is what came out on Steam, Xbox, and Switch. The PS4 version's coming later.
PS4 is always last.
That's weird.
It's like Xbox is always last.
Lead console. Why? I don't know why it's the last person getting it. But anyway, I can't speak to that part. But it's essentially Advance Wars, but with a medieval skin instead of modern day military.
Yep.
And it's a lot of fun. Like, you understand the kind of, like, power distribution of soldiers are weak to pikemen are weak to archers are weak to, like, it's just a rock paper scissors kind of deal. And you get your characters. It has a nice pixel art style to it. And you can play, there's single player and multiplayer. You can also do custom content, so you can create your own campaigns, it looks like. So it's, I was playing on Steam, and I know Aaron wants to play multiplayer at some point.
Yes, he does. And win.
It's nice. And like I would like to get it on my Switch, honestly, just because it seems like a game that
I
is
would
well
like to
suited.
get a Switch.
I mean, well, you're in luck. They might be coming out with a smaller one if you want. So, but with better
I
battery
mean, this
life.
is essentially like the Switch. It's just called the Vita, but it's a lot like the Switch.
Dude, I don't know what happened to my PlayStation Portable. It straight disappeared.
Oh,
I mean, you
That's not
finished
good.
Birth by Sleep, and you were like, I don't need this anymore.
I didn't actually play Birth by Sleep until last year. I owned a PlayStation Portable and didn't buy Birth by Sleep because I was a dork.
have no intention of ever playing it. I just got a PSP Go like sometime
What?
last year.
Birth by Sleep is really good.
I'm not going to play any of these.
I'm sure it
Like,
is good
or
for someone else.
This is not like this is a losing battle. Like, not going to happen.
Donald and Goofy aren't in it.
So,
Oh well, all the more reasons to not play it. So there we go.
Dang.
which would have, if you had said they were in it, he would have said all the more reason not to play it either. It's the same. Like, it's the argument.
Yeah.
Argument goes, no matter what. Like, it's not gonna. But yeah. I mean, so just to shock a tangent, but these new rumors of a new Switch. I guess my only thing is, like, it's supposed to be more portable. Does that mean like it doesn't dock at all? Because once you change that form factor, how does it fit into the dock?
They show you a new dock.
That's probably it. And yep. Aaron, when are you buying that?
I'm not.
Okay. Is that a now discussion? Because
It's anyone buying the new Switch, the baby Switch? You know?
me and Aaron have a problem's probably the wrong word because
Well, yeah.
we buy things.
We have a tendency to just get stuff day one.
How's your IQ player?
It's sitting in the box on the shelf, looking real
Okay.
nice. Looking real nice.
An N64 device, you really just you have all the games ever released for it, and B, can you even use it?
It just looks so... okay, if they release a handheld N64 in China, you have to get it. Like, there's rules to the
You
game.
don't live in China.
Not with that attitude, no. Okay.
So anyway,
Alright,
Okay.
Google says, next Extra Life Marathon, Aaron marathons Kingdom Hearts games while Tidy watches The Office, and Mike doesn't complain about anything. That would be funny. I like that scoop. That's funny. I'm sorry, Tiny. What were you saying?
I was going to say I think it's your turn, my friend, because that's pretty much all I've been playing. Everything else is just like I'm finishing up more at Resident Evil 2 stuff,
Okay.
but I haven't made any significant progress.
All right, so I'm still playing a ton of Mystic Vale because that game is just awesome, and I don't know, I'm just loving that game. I just can't stop playing it because it's just so good. Who would have thought that I would really be like geeking out over a card-based deck building game? I don't know. There's a physical game, a tabletop game version of it. I'm kind of curious about. But this version on Steam, I'm just loving this game. It's just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, your friend Will mentioned that.
He exists. You spoke to him. He exists.
I don't know who this Will character is, but
Okay,
that was pretty funny.
To make a long story short, the idea of me hanging out with a coworker is just something that is not. This the last thing people would have expected. So my wife is making fun of me about it. And then Tiny starts making fun of me about it, saying that Will was an actor I hired. A guy I hired to, like, assume a role as if he wasn't real. But he is real.
Hey, the person that was on the show last week was a very nice gentleman. I wish him all the luck in the world. I'm more than happy to be a reference for off-Broadway shows. So,
He's not an actor. And they just can't let it go. But it's cool. It's funny.
More. I agree. Will is a real person, but the joke can't die. Like,
No,
you
it can't.
do that.
It's
Like,
too soon. Like
that's unacceptable. So
yeah. So Mystic Vale is still awesome, and for those who are curious about it, I recommend picking it up on Steam. It's just a lot of fun.
Mystic Vale. I'm gonna have to write that one down too.
Yeah, I did a really long YouTube video for it that somebody commented on today, basically telling me that I explained too much
How dare you explain?
They said in the
game
time
in
that you
detail.
could have, they feel like in the time that you could have explained this one thing, you spent 5 minutes. I was trying to give context because I felt like the tutorial, it didn't make any, like once I learned what to do,
Yeah.
I went back to the tutorial and went, that wouldn't have taught me what to do. It was just
Yeah.
playing the game. So I was trying to explain, maybe there was some minutia. I was trying to explain what the game is and how it works. So, but yeah, that's on the site. So if you want to know how it plays, you can listen to my melodious voice drone on about it with excruciating detail that the people love. No, they don't. Anyway, I'll move on. Tanya, you play Wargroove. I've not had a chance to play any. Hopefully I'll play some this weekend. I did play some Riot Civil Unrest. This is a game I played at PAX East 2 or 3 years ago, which is sort of like a riot simulator almost, where you pick either the side of the police or the military or a group of people who are protesters, and you kind of pick a layout of like you want to have like a megaphone, you want to have rocks, you want to have weapons, you kind of pick what you go into this with, and you sort of click on groups of people, and you can either like have them shout chants to sort of amp them up, and you have a goal. Like the goal will be push everybody to the right, like move the police out of this area, and your goal by the end of that level, by the time the timer runs out, is to have amassed everybody together and led them to do something.
Who is Pixel 2? Pixel graphics?
Yes.
So is it
Am I looking at the right one?
Is
Yeah,
it like
you
a-
are.
2D like real-time strategy game then?
This looks dope.
It's interesting.
I'm writing that down too.
I was gonna say Scoop Moose asked it in the thing. Is this a prequel to State of Emergency?
No, because it's
That was
serious. Because it's actually
the last
like-
ride simulator I can think of.
I mean, like one of the settings is like a riot or protest, during the Arab Spring, excuse me. So it's taking real life, like real locations, real situations, real riots, real protests, and allowing you to play on the side of the protesters or law enforcement. So it felt weird, like, because I did play as the police, and you have armor, you have weapons, and it was interesting. I had it on easy because I knew it was still difficult. It's interesting because just giving a command doesn't mean everybody just does it instantly. Like some people might walk away. Some people, it's just unpredictable as life is. Of like, how was this going to turn out? So it's interesting. I think
Gosh. Sorry, I'm listening to you and I'm watching the trailer on Steam. It's just like, wow. It looks really good though.
it is interesting. I might have a key for it, but we'll talk after the show. So, what else? Melbit's World. So this is a game that sort of looks like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Okay.
But the difference is, I can just show it on my phone actually. So it's sort of like that, but instead of using it's on the PS4. Instead of using a controller, you use your phone, and your phone will sort of randomly give you like button combinations and stuff like that. So like if I can just show like this and no, it's not going to show up. It's too bright. Ugh.
Wait.
There it is.
Wait.
Yeah.
Almost. Wait.
That is real. Yeah.
I'm
Like
that close. Okay. Stop.
All right.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, so on one side you have like a
Cloud.
lever to pull up and down. The other side is like telling you to rotate. So
Okay.
I played with my two youngest daughters. I actually did we recorded a Let's Play for it. It should be up tomorrow. So and the game just randomly picks like either you have like one button to press or you have something to pull, and basically you don't control the actual Melbits. They just walk around. You just control things in the environment. You control like boxes moving up and down, springs and things like that. So you want to get them from point A to point B. So
Okay.
it
So
went
they're like lemmings then.
sort of, because yeah, they can die. There were times we flung them off a cliff and stuff like that, not on purpose. So we hadn't.
Are we sure it wasn't on purpose?
Yeah.
Well, when I did it, it was on purpose.
I was gonna say, is this the one that I thought I saw a post from you earlier that said you were gonna put up a video with a lot of laughter in it?
Well, there's laughter and frustration, and it's not, we're not on camera, but I definitely recorded the audio. It was
Right.
interesting because I wanted to start doing some Let's Plays with them, and I think this is a good place to start. So it is fun. It's just on one hand, it's like if you had a controller in your hand, would this be worth talking about? It would still be fun. I think the novelty is you can't control the character, you control the environment. So, and answer Becker's question in the chat. I have not played Away. I want to play Away. Away is like this really pretty, like anime-looking first-person action adventure. I think that comes out next week on Switch.
On what?
Switch,
Oh, on
PS4, and Xbox One. It's called like Away the Journey or something like that. So yeah, I do want to play that game.
I think someone was telling me about this.
I played it at PAX like 2 years ago. It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
2 or 3 years ago. No, it was 2 years ago. Switch had just come out.
I think if that's the one I'm thinking of, I've heard it's.
Yeah, it looks
I've heard
really
good
cool.
things.
Yeah.
The Switch had just come out, hadn't it? It was only like 2 weeks old. Or something.
Yeah, that was the year when almost everybody I talked to, I was like, I'm sorry, I have to ask you this question. Is this coming off of the Switch? We're all like, it's the 50th time I've been asked that this hour. You know?
That was the year that we saw like Snake Pass and.
Yep. I think it was.
And we did the interview with SteamWorld Heist.
Yes.
Heist?
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
Had to be Heist. I think Heist had only come out on 3DS that year.
Well, no,
so.
didn't we play Dig 2? Or were they telling us Dig 2 was coming out?
I think they just announced Dig 2. I remember you and I were there, and then I remember that dad thinking like I pushed his son out of the way. I'm like, I'm here for an appointment.
Well, you did push your son out of the way, but that's not the point.
Push the little kid down. So you could play,
Get out of here, kid.
Not. I did not.
No, I'm kidding. You did not. What else? This might take a little bit longer, but there's a game called Magic Nations for Steam, and it's out on the Switch now.
Are there 4 nations? Do they each align with an element?
No.
And bring them together.
So this is a game where I think it's free to play on Switch, but there's microtransactions because you can buy like gold or purchase card packs and things like that. So I wanted to check it out because it's free to play. So I launched the game up and I'm playing it, and then a card comes up of what looks like a Zulu warrior, but the name of the card says Savage, and then there's a quote that says, "I am a noble savage," and I'm like, come on. So I tweet about it, and then it's funny, I had actually requested the game. I asked for a review key some hours prior, and they got back to me. So when they got back to me, I replied. I said, I sent the picture. I said, this image is one of the cards in your game, and I have some issues with it. And they got back to me and said, well, we understand your concern. What would you do? So I emailed them some suggestions on, maybe some art changes, maybe it's definitely some name changes for sure.
Right.
So, and they took my ideas and they said they would actually make those changes to the game and I do that. I have not played enough of it to see that card again, but I would like to see that change. It's just like, it's 2019. Like, you can't, like, yeah. So, but I was glad that they were at least receptive to me bringing it up and recognizing. But it's one of those things where just like, because some people it's like, oh, what's the big deal? But it's a game that like not like millions of people are playing it, but
I mean, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people play.
Exactly.
It's just like
the fact that
why do they even have to take the advice? Just don't do it the first time.
Exactly. And I'm just like, and it's such a old, and like the fact, like as bad as it is to have to just say savage, like really, it's a dehumanizing thing to begin with. But then the quote is, "I am a noble savage." Like, come on. So I mean, I did like a 20, not even 20-minute, like 10-minute like Google search and researched just some history and some facts about Zulu warriors from around the time that the other characters in the game might have lived theoretically. There were orcs and magic and crap in it too. And I come up with something. Like I said, I'm glad they were receptive to it, but it's just, you wish you wouldn't even have to like point that stuff out. in
Right.
2019, but obviously you have to. I mean, hey, I mean, to be really topical, like look at what's going on in Virginia right now. Like, the people asking who's the fourth person that could be governor. Like, what's this is nuts. So yeah. So what's old is new, and what's old is some things that never really got old to some people. So
Yeah.
nice to say. What else? I played
Nice.
Guns and Stories Bulletproof on PSVR. It's a shooter. I put a video for it today. It's fun. My issue with it is there's too many enemies per stage. Like, it gives you like a little, like within the level, you can always see like a little thing telling you the percentage of the stage that's done. I felt like 15 minutes shooting like slight variations of the same enemies. Not that it wasn't fun. It was like 50%. I'm like, let's get to the end of this level. Let's push forward. Let's finish this. So it's all right. It's fun, but it sounds crazy to say there's almost too much shooting. Like, I'd rather that one stage should be chopped up into like 3 stages.
Yeah.
Like a mini
I can
boss.
get that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But so I don't know, weird thing to complain about.
Did you request a code for that RPG that was coming out on PSV? It came out this week.
What's it called? Something
I'm trying to-
Mages?
Is
I
it
did
Mage?
not. I did
Okay.
not. Yeah.
I think I saw Charles from Shack talking about it.
I've slowed down on requesting VR games because I don't
that's
feel like
surprising to hear.
playing them half the time because VR
It is
VR is
a lot to-
tiring.
Yeah, a lot to set up and then exhausting.
That's like the most first world problem thing to say, but it's like it's not this plug. I mean, it's all plugged in, but it's just even after I recorded stuff for Bulletproof, I was like, I should play something else that I got in for review. But I'm like, I'm tired now. I don't want to play any more VR. Like, I'm done. My head hurts. Yeah,
Gotcha.
It's ridiculous, but yeah, I played Mercury Race on the Switch. That's coming out pretty soon. That is a racing game where you race around like these neon futuristic tracks, but then you use the right analog to like shoot enemies. So like you can get different badges for each level. Like, was it platinum through bronze? Sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, did either of you ever play Downhill Domination on the PlayStation 2?
I know of it, but I
I was gonna
That
say
game-
I didn't play it.
I can remember.
That game was so sweet. Like, it needs to come. I know, like the developer, like they shut down. They closed their doors a long time ago. But that game was a downhill like BMX biking racing game where you could like. It was almost like Mario Kart, but you like physically punched and kicked your opponents, and it was really fun.
Wait a
And it
minute,
was
was
hilarious.
this like Road Rash sort of?
I didn't play Road Rash.
But you were going downhill? When you say punch and kick, I think of Road Rash.
It
You know, I have a game for you, Jazz. Do you have a Wii?
okay. Like one that works? No.
Okay.
Technically,
I don't know-
yes, but if
I
you
don't
want me to
know
play
what-
games on it, no.
No.
I don't know what happened to
If it's
it.
a paperweight you need,
I
yes.
took good care of it. I thought.
'Cause I was going to
died.
recommend Tony Hawk Downhill Jam. No, that's not a very good game.
I was just thinking
I'm
about
kidding.
that.
That's not a good game. Don't take me seriously. That's not a good game.
I think there might be a new one.
No, I've
There
I've
is
heard of
some
the-
new. Is it a mobile game? It's like a new mobile.
Yeah,
Tony
I've seen it. It's really bad.
Hawk. Yeah,
Oh,
the guys on
so-
Giant Bomb are talking about it.
I was gonna say there's a quick look going up on Giant Bomb tomorrow for Tony Hawk's Skate Jam,
That's it.
and I'm like, what is this?
Exactly.
Hawk Skate Jam. Well, I mean that would align with my previous interests, where I was like, when I was a kid, I hated that. Okay, you guys are probably gonna make fun of me, but that show Rocket Power, I hated that show.
So did I.
I hated it so much.
I hated
and
the
then,
intro song too.
And yeah, I know. Everything about it, I hated it. And then like for my birthday, my dad came home and was like, "Hey, I got you a new game," and I'm like, "Really?" And he handed me Rocket Power.
Is it Rocco's
That-
Modern Life? Like,
That game was so fun. Like I didn't even play the story mode. I just played like the skating part, and it was so fun. And I still hate Rocket Power, but the PlayStation 2 Rocket Power game was. I don't know. I was obsessed.
You know, now the theme song is like stuck on my head. We are riders on a mission, action, kids. Rocket Power. You know what it was?
This is
like,
one.
Rugrats
This is one I
was so
missed.
good. Ren and Stimpy was so. There were so many other Nicktoons that were so much better. It was like, this is what they came up with.
Right.
What is this?
Like they were coming up with weird stuff like around Rocket Power time.
I'd rather hear about Doug like having anxiety over brushing his teeth in a different household. Like it's just, how was I going to brush my teeth? I wasn't at home. The same way you do at home, Doug. Okay.
Doug was a bit neurotic. Okay, like we gotta.
Doug was out of his mind. Okay, like there were things that he fretted about. They were like, really, dude?
His superpowered persona wore his underpants on the outside and a belt on his head. Like
that's a good point.
Let the kid.
Yeah, but he was also like what, like 12?
He had a
Wait, how
dog
old
named
was
Pork
that?
Chop.
Oh, they were in high school, weren't they?
No, but they're in middle school.
Were they?
I thought they're in middle school.
I thought they were in high school.
I mean, Patty Mayonnaise failed a couple of times, so she should have been in high school. Those are facts. Okay.
Because I feel like the sister is about to go to college.
Whose sister?
I don't know.
Doug's?
Doug's sister.
I forgot he had a sister.
Yeah, Judy. She was the
the bonus,
the real dramatic one. Like she looked like a beatnik. Like she was essentially like a '90s version of a beatnik.
Okay.
I remember a lot more of Doug and almost nothing about Rocket Power. So I'm glad now I can participate.
I mean, at the same time, on like Hey Arnold, Helga's sister was in college, wasn't she? And Helga was like 10.
Fair.
Hey Arnold was really good though.
Hey Arnold was good.
Yeah. Like
I interrupted you from Mercury.
No. Going down to Nicktoons, that was worth it. That was all the way worth it. I mean, I like Doug. I just got tired of him. Like, I know he's supposed to represent like growing up and having anxiety, but stuff people have anxiety about was just like, dude, if you can't brush your teeth in a different sink, how are you going to function in life?
You're like 15.
Exactly.
He was
just give up hope.
So the Wikipedia, he is 11, later 12 years old.
Oh.
Imagines and has a strong sense of morality. Apparently, Bluffington was based on Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh. Super Nintendo just said our Real Monsters was dope. I liked Real Monsters.
Yes. That
was good.
I mean, I feel like Our Real Monsters was part of like SNCC. And that's the last thing I remember really about Nick was like that and Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, I was kind of too old for that stuff by then.
Really?
Yeah, I was shaving by then, so I just I wasn't. But I wasn't really into Are You Afraid of the Dark.
You were shaving?
You know what? Yeah, maybe I was just afraid of it. I was scared. I don't know.
So.
I was trying to think, like, I don't know. All Real Monsters was good. I watched Angry Beavers was good.
That was good.
That show was good.
Cat Dog was good.
Cat Dog weirded me out. I watched it
because
every day, but it was so weird.
They would eat and not poop. It was disturbing.
It's like reverse. I don't know.
Yeah. That's why I had the kids watching the original Ren and Stimpy. My wife was like, yeah, they can't watch this anymore. It's weirding me out.
I never understood the big fandom for Ren and Stimpy, but that was before we got cable.
It was great.
To be honest,
they were just high when they.
This is why I think Ren and Stimpy was popular, because you know how, like, even today SpongeBob is super popular because it's a very fast, like, it's funny and it's very fast. It moves really quick, and it reels kids in because it moves so quick and it's so loud and stuff. That's how Ren and Stimpy was, I think. It was just like a really fast-paced show, and they were like kind of obnoxious, like in the way that
it was gross.
SpongeBob characters are. It was very gross. Yeah.
Those like close-ups and stuff. It was like, ugh.
Right.
I think they were just high when they wrote all those. I mean, the stuff they had was just didn't even make any sense.
I remember my mom told me that I wasn't allowed to watch Daria when I was a kid, but I watched Ren and Stimpy, and I'm just like,
well, Daria was so sarcastic and so snarky and so ahead of her time. That show was sharp, though.
Daria was good. I liked Daria.
It really was.
I still watch it sometimes.
It's funny that Daria was a spin-off of Beavis and Butthead. What was like cerebral and like biting. It was like really good satire.
Yeah, it was.
Six Ed World. You know, just great stuff on that show.
Man.
Where were we?
We were halfway through your list of indie games.
After you all heard enough, I played a game called Egg, the platform puker, where you basically just puke to jump.
Are you an egg?
No, but you're incentivized to collect eggs within the levels.
Are they like spoiled? Is that why you puke?
No, you just like.
I'm just trying to understand.
No, to literally jump, the character has to puke in order to gain elevation. That's
okay. Because someone was making like snide comments about Kingdom Hearts subtitles, and I'm just trying to understand the name of this game. So.
Because it has like 4 G's and egg. It was like egg.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out like what's the point of egg, the platform puker. It doesn't seem like eggs are.
When I watched a video of it, I realized I went to the website and there's mobile versions. But for some reason, I figured it was a regular platform where I would use the D-pad or the left analog to move my character.
Right.
I didn't realize you just use like the L and R buttons or the ZL and ZR buttons. So you just move left and right with those, and then you just tap it again to jump.
Up.
Yeah, and you throw up and you jump. So I just wanted to share that with you all. And now that I have, we can move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's getting kind of late, so we can probably run through this stuff real fast. Okay. I don't know if it was a leak or not, but I'm sure you all seen about the Xbox Live being available on iOS and Android and the Switch.
Yes,
Microsoft's
I can give a little background on this.
Please do.
Please.
So GDC announced their panels for GDC is the second week of March, if I remember correctly, 2nd to 3rd. They announced their panels for this, including one where Xbox is announcing exciting new plans about their ability to bring voice and game integration and stuff to alternative platforms to allow you to have the same middleware experience across all these platforms. Which apparently was supposed to be an announcement that they really would have liked not to have come out based on a GDC schedule, because that webpage has now been deleted. So it was kind of a mistaken announcement. But yeah, it looks like they're going to essentially be bringing. I mean, you already log into your Microsoft account to play Minecraft, for example, on the Switch.
Every day I do, because I love Minecraft. Talk about it every week.
So they already have some of the bases here, but this will also allow you to, instead of using, let's say, the Switch's convoluted voice system,
you take that back.
Where you need a cell phone and whatnot, you could just plug a headset into your Switch and use Xbox Live's voice servers to do, voiceover for games. So it's an interesting idea. It's kind of to the point of how Microsoft is pushing to decentralize games so that you don't have a console. Any console will be able to access their cloud and let you play, which is potentially the future. So, but I do have a question while you have Dave Mirra, rest in peace, because you're like the third person on my timeline to mention that. And, well, it's sad that Dave Mirra died. That was 3 years ago. So I'm just confused at why people
He's been dead for 3 years?
Yes, that was 2016.
Oh. Now I'm embarrassed.
Wait, no. You know what? I'm just going to double check this.
You sure he's been dead for 3 years?
I might be confusing this, but nope, 2016. So
yeah, he has been dead since February 2016.
You're
I didn't realize that.
You're the third person on my timeline. I had another friend oh, it's so sad. I just heard Dave Mirra died. I'm like, yes, it is very. He took his own life. It's a suicide. There were a lot of, but.
There's also an article saying that Dave Mirra's 2016 death reported as new in 2019.
I'm just seeing I hadn't seen these.
I guess people didn't know, and then I even went to the Wikipedia thing and then saw it. I guess I looked at died February 4th and never looked at 2016.
So I mean, yeah, like I said, it's very sad. I'm not trying to dismiss it, but apparently it was reported as new. And I'm pretty sure Dave Mirra hasn't been with us for a little while now. So,
I didn't know, man. So. I didn't know.
I didn't know either. So.
See, we didn't know.
What about
I know.
More Firefest stuff?
Did I put a link in that, or did I just put more Firefest?
More Firefest as in more type Firefest things? There's a whole lot of Firefest nonsense going on. Just all these YouTubers that are trying to throw fire festivals, and they're all actual fire festivals.
Oh, the pitch got released. So you can look at all the slides they used to pitch the festival.
Oh.
So and people were talking about how it flowed. You know, I guess visually it looked nice and it flowed together. It was all scam, but well, that's how it turned out. Yeah, I mean, when you scroll down their pitch, it looks like what that photo shoot was, but that's not what the actual festival was or anything even remotely close to it. So,
You mean these people are good at lying?
Yeah. What's crazy is I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but the scenes in the documentary were like they are showing him standing on like a picnic bench or picnic table, answering questions. Some people who just spent thousands of dollars to fly to a festival that clearly is not happening. It's just amazing that like he was not snatched by his ankle off of that thing and beaten half to death. It's a miracle.
Well, isn't that like, and granted that is a terror. Like what happened, terrible is the wrong word, but like it sucks for those people. But what about that YouTube convention where like I think they exceeded the fire code within like the first
TanaCon?
5 minutes? That's it.
What was it called?
Yeah.
Tana Mojo. I don't know how to say her name. She did TanaCon because she was mad at VidCon, so she made her own conference the same weekend as VidCon, and it was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, like people
that
waiting
the
in
one
line
where, like-
for hours, and like they couldn't get in because other
They were
people would have
dehydrated.
I think I did hear about that. I know the name, but I did hear about that one though.
There was another one more recently. An Instagrammer came up with her own conference. I forgot what it was called. I forgot her name. I forgot what it was called. I can find it. Just
Who has the initial funding to even have a con?
I mean, that's sign a contract with a hotel and.
well, you would think that'd be the first thing, but like this one Instagrammer, she came up with a conference that costs like $160, I think. She didn't have a place to go. Like she didn't have like a venue until like the week before. And because she didn't have a venue for any of them, because she was supposed to go to like Chicago and like Boston and stuff, she asked the people who bought tickets in Chicago and Boston to just come to the New York venue that she got.
Oh yeah, because they're right next to each other. Yeah.
Right. And instead of like having she promised like lunch, and she said that she would make flower crowns for all the girls, and instead she gave everyone one flower that they had to give back at the end of the day. And then instead of a lunch,
What was she gonna do with them when they gave them back?
she was gonna give them to the girls at like the next day. And then
Oh my god.
and then
I missed
have to
this.
find the girl's name.
I missed all of this.
And then what else does she do? I'm pretty sure this breaks a lot of like laws. Was that she made the food? She made salads, like for the girl, like the women who came, and it's just like I'm pretty sure you can't serve food that you made in your house at a like public event where people buy tickets and like.
Oh yeah. Watch.
I can't remember. Let me see. What was her name?
This is almost sounding like that. Was that Tumblr convention with the ball pit?
I heard about that.
What?
One.
Wait, explain.
That's what
I look up this girl's name.
That's what I heard about.
There was a convention. Was it Tumblr? Convention ball pit. Well,
Caroline Calloway. That's her name. Caroline Calloway. Just Google Caroline Calloway, and you'll see the whole story about how she made. Oh, and there weren't enough chairs, so they had to sit on the floor and eat salads off of paper plates.
Sounds like Fire Festival, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. So the one I'm talking about is DashCon. Was originally announced for mid-2013 under the name TumbleCon USA. At one point, reception, the ball pit, roughly the size of a kiddie pool, in an otherwise empty concession hall, and the notion of an extra hour in it would quickly become memes as attendees and tumblers using inspiring parody. Like, this was just a convention that the bed.
Wait, what was this called?
DashCon? Oh, you don't need to edit that one. Like, I think that's appropriate in the...
It's too late.
It's a... Like, they... Dash. It was... Oh. I mean, if we want to talk about another one that was closer, at least to Aaron and me, what about...
I can't think of the name of it. It was right in Baltimore.
Right.
Oh.
Not Black Nerd Con.
Black Gamer...
Well, no, BlurCon is still
girls?
going on. That's
BlurCon's still going on, but it's the one that
FanCon.
The girls?
Is it
it
FanCon?
Is it the one?
It's the one black nerd game or Black Girl Gamers was involved.
Yeah, I forgot the name of that one too. But I just recently heard about that this week and that debacle.
Well, it was Jamie Broadnax, but I don't know if everybody. It was Universal FanCon.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was bad.
And no refunds for that.
People still haven't got money back yet.
People
was it last year?
Yep. People shipped. You know, their merchandise and ordered supply. I mean, people did what you do for a con.
And they canceled it the week before the convention was supposed to happen.
Yep.
So, like, people had already shipped all their stuff. So then, like, a couple pop-ups came up and tried to, like, fill in the
there was some
gaps.
Yeah, there was some effort to do that, but...
Like, I know...
What is it, like a crowd-funded conference? Like...
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I know, like, Philly Comic-Con gave some kind of... would give away tickets for people if they could show their tickets for that, because it was the same weekend. But like,
it's just so unfortunate. Like, people need to stop doing conferences unless you just aren't.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Unless you have like a really, really big ball pit, just don't do the conference. You know, just stay away. I don't know.
Unless you're gonna host a Nightfire tournament.
If you're not gonna do that, then just go home.
I wish the ball pit would have happened.
Aaron and I went to a convention that has now grown and become much bigger. Actually, too many games we talked about it earlier. The first year we went, I think Halo Reach had just come out, maybe, and we were standing in line for a tournament. It was very small. It was like part of a hotel kind of thing, and it was fine. Like maybe 1,000 people, and the guy behind us is just boasting about how amazing he is at James Bond Nightfire on the PlayStation. And he doesn't understand why they'd hold a Halo tournament and not a Nightfire tournament, because he is the best in the world at James Bond Nightfire.
He says this with like a trace of irony. Like he just dead serious. We're just like, do you hear yourself? This thing you never went to the hibachi place?
Oh God!
With the guy cooking the food? You've been to a hibachi place, right? Where they flick the food and people catch it in their mouths?
Yeah.
There was a family there. So, like, the kids tried. They didn't get it. The son tried. He didn't get it. The daughter tried. He gets to the wife. He really, legitimately, flung. I think it's maybe 7 to 8 pieces of broccoli at this woman's mouth. And she missed every... He just kept... I kept thinking, and the husband's sitting there, smiling, somebody make him stop. It was so awkward. She's not gonna catch this food. Stop throwing food at her. It was so awkward. He gets me. I'm like, don't. I looked at him. I was like, nope.
We're good.
Right.
I want to eat my food. So I was like,
right.
Oh, it was so awkward. Just stop it. She's already dead. Oh man, it was nuts.
Our first too many games?
Yeah, we just sat there is he gonna stop? No. Okay.
Dang.
Oh man. Anyway, there's a game, Ziff. Was it? Not Ziff. Who makes the pinball games?
Oh God.
That's with a Z. Can't think of their name. Pinball Effects.
Oh, Zen
Studios. They have a game coming out called Operencia: The Stolen Sun. It's like a first-person dungeon crawling RPG, but it's going to be on Game Pass, but it's going to launch on Game Pass.
That's cool.
So that's so if you have Game Pass, you can play it. It looks kind of interesting. I like their work. So, thank you, Scoop. Yes, Zen Studios. And the last thing is apparently, I guess Disney, I don't know what the context was. Disney responded, was asked about why don't they just license and make their own games, and they said they said we're not good at it, so it's better that EA have it.
Well, so people are asking
Exactly.
why isn't Disney getting out of the EA? So right now EA has the exclusivity to console and PC games for Star Wars.
Yes.
And last year they actually signed exclusivity with Zynga. I think it was Zynga for mobile now. So but not actually. I don't think it's exclusive because EA is still also doing mobile games for Star Wars. So, but people are like, hey, after the debacle of Battlefront 2, and now they've canceled another game why not open this license up? And they're like, nah, we're gonna stick with EA. Like, and I imagine they would stick with EA, because as much as like people complain about Battlefront 2, that game ended up selling relatively well. People are still playing it, and they make fist loads of money on like their mobile games and whatnot. And they just launched a new one. So
Yeah.
So yeah, like why would like they tried to do Disney Infinity and that failed, and all they do is spin up another like Disney Interactive so they can fire all those people in 5 years, because that's what they've done twice so far.
Where's John Vignacchi now?
I think he's at Iron Galaxy, I believe.
What is Iron Galaxy doing now?
They actually they just released something.
Not the game that was like Attack on Titans.
No.
No, because that didn't do anything. It seemed like.
I saw something, but I think he's at. I forget. There was something recently. Oh, they did the Diablo 3 port for Switch as well.
Really? I did not know that.
And they did the Elder Scrolls port too.
Oh.
At least according to Wikipedia.
I thought, was it Panic Button did a lot of that stuff?
I'm just looking at port on Wikipedia. It says they at least probably assisted with it. So.
Yeah, a Super Nintendo just chimed in. Yeah, they ported the Diablo. I didn't realize they did that. That's good. That's what's up.
I'll throw one more thing on and then we can get out of here. But I don't know if you've seen the stuff show, since I'm not allowed to curse. Going on with
what you want, but
well, I think it's appropriate for this one.
You always think it's appropriate.
I do, but if you've seen what's been going on with The Escapist this week.
No.
Okay, so The Escapist, a website, kind of folded in 2016, I think, after it aligned itself with Gamergate and the whole show. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll warrant that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Not really.
So Russ Pitts said the group went out and bought the IP, and Russ Pitts is going to be the CEO or the editor-in-chief. He put up an article this week about, hey, we still need to talk about ethics in games or in games journalism.
Okay.
Where he glosses over a lot of what was bad about Gamergate and says like, oh, some of them still had a point.
No, let's no.
Brings up the plagiarism from IGN last year, where that guy was identified, dealt with, like
fired.
The process was followed.
Yeah.
Done, and then puts out some really weird statements about like, oh well, like let's talk about why Kingdom Hearts only went to some outlets and other outlets, and the outlets that got it gave it high scores. So was that for like pay for play or without any sources or anything?
It's called speculation.
So he goes out in this, then Zoe, I'm trying to remember her last name. The main woman that was the original target for Gamergate, Unburnt Witch on Twitter.
Zoe something.
Yes, it's her. I want to say Zoe Deschanel, and that's not the right Zoe.
I want to say Zoe Kravitz, but then that was not.
No, that's not her either. But anyway, so
that's an ASMR beer commercial.
She comes back and says like, "Yo, this stuff is effed up here. Like, you're wrong." And he says like, "Oh, I thought you would have been over this by now," which is not the right thing to say to someone that was literally attacked for years on this subject. So that was hit one from The Escapist this week. That's been taken down, and Russ Pitt says like, "Oh, people have explained why this was problematic." Whatever. Not even going to go down that road right now. And then two, Escapist Recon comes out, which is supposed to be a video from Victor Lucas, and Victor Lucas used to be on G4 and hosted Electric Playground.
And
all that stuff. This video is him talking to, I think it's the head of comics at Riot, and the question and this is just a preview. It's like 45 seconds to a minute, and he's like, so tell me, how did this place feel after the sexual harassment accusations came out about the co-founder of Riot and all this stuff? And the lady is visibly uncomfortable with it. She's like I'm not the right person to be answering this. I shouldn't be the first one. Like, this should be something. And like, she looks at the PR person, and the PR person like, answer honestly. And what's come out since apparently is they say, we were told he was coming to interview them about the comics, not about this. And then he asked, and while reporters don't have to give the breadth of their scope, once you've visibly shook someone like this,
which was the goal, right?
That's the thing. Like, people are comparing it to like TMZ and whatnot, and like they have also taken that down now and issued an apology. But batting 1,000, and the Escapist still lists a whole bunch of doc stuff from like the old days of Gamergate on it, because they still haven't filtered all that stuff out of it. So, yeah, it's a. I'm going to curse one more time. So, and I don't understand why this website is coming back. So, this week has been they have been just really killing it.
Wow.
So
sounds like it.
And they've been called on their, like, a lot of people have called them on their, like, rightfully so. This is just dumb. They also, just to put in perspective, this is also the same a couple weeks back said, oh, we're going to be the game site that doesn't talk about politics. That's going to be apolitical.
That means you're going to be political. That's
right. It's still a choice. You're making a choice.
If you're telling me that, then that's
So anyway, yeah. So awesome. So.
All right. So we're going to wrap up. Jazz, thank you for joining us. Any shout-outs, plugs, things you want to mention?
I don't know. I didn't prepare well for this, but I did want to thank you guys for having me on, because this is fun.
I'm writing on an envelope, so none of us are prepared. So. Yeah.
Well, I don't really have any shout-outs. No, I didn't. I don't know.
No worries.
Shout you guys out, because you're fun.
Right back at you.
Subscribe to their everything, the YouTube channel and Twitch, and where are we at? Mixer, and all of those things happening.
Justin.tv, everything, yeah.
Justin.
Ustream,
But yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
I'm glad that I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah,
I'll make sure I have your information in the show notes so people can subscribe to your YouTube channel and watch you talk about everything from different legumes to pine cones and everything in between.
Yep.
And Kingdom Hearts, obviously.
Kingdom Hearts. It's a ball of fun on my channel. It's
a cone
that sounds
of
really
fun.
sarcastic, but no, I do have fun. Like I like having fun on my channel. I like to laugh, so that's what it's about. That's all.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Hey, it's 2019, and you've already heard this now 4 weeks in a row or whatever, but you should sign up for Extra Life. Go to extra-life.org, hit sign up. You can sign up there. You can also join the GameEnthus team. So if you go to extra-life.org/team/GameEnthus, come join us, or donate if you're unable to participate. Donate to your favorite personality, which is obviously me. And 100% of the money you raise or is donated goes directly to our children's hospital. So Aaron's raising for John Hopkins down in Baltimore. I raise for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. H-Bomb's raising for John Hopkins down in Florida, which is super confusing. Took me a while to realize there were 2 different John Hopkins children's hospitals that are both named John Hopkins Children's Hospital.
Well, is it Johns Hopkins or John Hopkins?
Which one is what?
I'm assuming they're both Johns
It wouldn't surprise
Hopkins.
me if they were both John Hopkins, because
I believe they're
John
both John
Hopkins
Hopkins.
Airport.
There's a lot of Johns Hopkins, so
Yeah.
So
we live and we learn, right?
I thought people were talking about the Baltimore one for the longest time. I was like, that's weird you all live in Florida and raised from Baltimore, but okay.
Do you?
I mean, that's fine. Like, hey. But yeah, so go there. And since Mike's not here, please remember to donate blood and have your dogs spayed or neutered.
Your pets spayed
or your pets, sorry.
That's by a professional.
I just don't think people should own cats because they're terrible animals. So,
cats are awesome. Cats are great.
They're satisfactory.
Dog beats cat every time. Like,
nope.
I don't feel like
you have to almost respect a cat for like laying in the middle of the floor looking at you like you're in the way. You have to respect that kind of foolishness. Like, you know what?
No, like,
why do I have to deal with, like, why would I voluntarily bring that into my life?
Why not?
So, Dog, unconditional love. Cat, unconditional hate. Like, I don't understand.
No, they don't just hate. But anyway, but they have their own personality, so they're who they are.
Anyway, so yeah, so that's that. Hey, I'm getting ready for Extra Life United. So if you're gonna go to Florida and compete for $150,000, you should head down there. And when I'm stressing out about setting up computers, say hi. So, Aaron, what about you, sir?
All right, Jazz, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully, we can have you on the show again.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Tomorrow? No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I mean, you can record tomorrow. I won't be here. Wow. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
These hosts aren't
next
loyal.
Kingdom Heart release, 2027.
Shout out to the folks in the chat who stopped by and are watching the show. We appreciate it. Thank you for your comments, questions, and correcting us when we say dumb things, because that's always good. Shout out to Mike. Hopefully he's home and I guess sleeping by now, getting some much needed rest. And if you want to leave us feedback, you can always leave us, drop us an email at podcast@GameEnthus.com, Tiny415@GameEnthus.com, AssaultSuit@GameEnthus.com, or Aaron@GameEnthus.com. Any one of those work. You can also leave us a voicemail at 202-573-7686. Check out the YouTube channel. I'm putting up a video every weekday for the last 3 weeks. Part of that's because I was on furlough and I had nothing else to do, but I've been continuing it. So, yeah. Show the channel some love. Yeah. So, Jazz, any final words before we get out of here?
Final words. Believe in yourself this year. We're just starting 2019. It's a long year. There's a lot of stuff that can happen between now and December 31st. So make it a good one. Any resolutions that you haven't been doing, you can still do them. You don't have to beat yourself up. That's all I have to say. It's a positive note.
I like that. That's all right. All right, Lord willing, we'll be back next week. That's it.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks. Goodbye.